Amidst a storm of lightning and slaughtered corpses, a lone, blood-soaked sword stands as a grim monument to absolute carnage. Surveying this massacre with a sickeningly arrogant grin sits the architect of the slaughter, the Sun-Moon demonic cult leader. Chuckling at the sheer absurdity of the bloodbath, the maniac finds the arrival of the Southern Sky Palace's Sword Emperor truly amusing. Dragging his battered, blood-drenched body through the mud, Palace Lord Nam Youngshin stubbornly marches toward his inevitable doom. Gritting his teeth at the villain's mockery, Youngshin recalls the uncompromising, razor-sharp responsibility of a true chivalrous hero's blade. With a piercing glare, he silently questions whether the weapons they wield belong to mere commoners or unyielding martial legends. He remembers his proud disciples standing united before the Grand Palace, proving that no mere commoners exist within their elite ranks. Now, those same loyal disciples lie butchered across the courtyard, having fiercely kept their promise to stand by his side. Fueled by the ultimate sacrifice of his unretreating followers, the grieving master tightens his grip and declares it his turn. He stands tall amidst a graveyard of broken blades, ready to fulfill the heavy martial responsibility his fallen disciples walked. As crimson lightning shatters the sky, he steps up to confront the demonic tyrant perched upon a grotesque, fleshy throne. Panting heavily while the maniacal bastard cackles, Youngshin struggles to even grip his sword with his trembling, exhausted hands. Refusing to become just another corpse in the mud, he forces his battered muscles to raise the legendary blade once more. Unleashing a terrifying aura of dark blood magic, the arrogant cult leader dares the Emperor to handle the deadly consequences. Unfazed by the theatrical villainy, Youngshin coolly retorts that a true swordsman with a drawn blade can handle absolutely anything. Cracking a psychotic, toothy grin, the demonic tyrant mocks the heavens themselves, questioning if this pathetic sky will last forever. Instead of wasting breath on philosophical nonsense, the battered sword emperor explodes forward in a desperate, high-speed lethal strike. Channeling every last ounce of his fading life force, he swings a blazing arc of pure martial energy at his foe. A massive geyser of blood erupts as the emperor's desperate, glowing slash brutally connects with the demonic leader's smug neck. Yet, even as a severed head, the psychotic bastard just cackles, cryptically whispering that the black sun and red moon always yearn for each other. The demonic cult leader's severed head, still cackling psychotically, cryptically whispers that the black sun and red moon always yearn for each other. A blinding purple explosion consumes the battlefield, its immense power radiating outwards, leaving only a fading light. The intense, destructive light slowly dissipates, revealing the devastation left in its wake. Impaled and bleeding profusely, Nam Youngshin grimly accepts mutual destruction as his final, desperate act. His battered body collapses to the blood-soaked ground, each movement a painful testament to his sacrifice. Collapsing amongst the fallen blades, the Sword Emperor laments the utter futility of his title, unable to protect a single disciple. Tears of blood stream down his face as he cries out, offering a heartfelt apology to his beloved, fallen disciples. As his vision blurs, the golden light of the heavens shines down upon his dying form. He reflects on the vast, blue sky, realizing it embodies the righteousness and chivalry he and his disciples sought to protect. Yet, he questions how one who failed to protect his own disciples could ever dare to reach for such a noble sky. As his life fades, regret washes over him, questioning if he could have looked at this sky with his disciple, Mumyang, if only he had been stronger. Suddenly, a younger Nam Youngshin jolts awake in a sweat, startled by a loud, familiar shout of Mumyang. A burly man named Deoxam harshly kicks him, yelling at the bastard to wake up. Disoriented, the younger Nam Youngshin looks up, utterly confused by his new surroundings and the angry man. Deoxam continues to berate him, calling him a lazy slug and questioning why a sword attendant is still sleeping. The younger Nam Youngshin stares in shock, utterly bewildered by his current predicament and the man's words. Deoxam angrily reminds him that he gave a name and a living to an orphan with severed meridians, demanding gratitude. The younger Nam Youngshin clenches his fists, a chilling realization dawning on him: he clearly died. Recalling every vivid detail of his past life, from his disciples to the death duel, Nam Youngshin confirms his identity as the Southern Sky Palace Lord. With the cult leader's menacing face superimposed, Nam Youngshin wonders if his final will somehow defy heaven, leading to this inexplicable rebirth. Deoxam delivered a harsh kick, but Youngshin blocked it with surprising force, leaving Deoxam utterly bewildered. The impact reverberated, showcasing Youngshin's unexpected resilience against the powerful blow. Deoxam recoiled in pain and shock, questioning Youngshin's sudden strength after being so weak just yesterday. With glowing red eyes, Youngshin firmly gripped Deoxam's leg, his demeanor now fiercely determined. Deoxam gasped, utterly terrified by Youngshin's sudden, chilling transformation. Deoxam fell back, clutching his throbbing leg in agony as Youngshin stood over him. Youngshin swiftly snatched Deoxam's sword, his movements precise and deliberate. Holding Deoxum by the collar, young Shin declared him unfit to wield a sword for abusing a child who knew no martial arts. Other villagers mocked Deoxum, taunting him for being defeated by a mere sword attendant and suggesting he drown himself. The villagers continued their taunts, mocking young Shin for his severed meridians, which further enraged Deoxum. Deoxum, boiling with rage, sprang up and shouted at young Shin, questioning if his severed meridians had driven him insane. Deoxum lunged forward, charging directly at young Shin who held the sword ready. Young Shin swiftly stabbed Deoxum in the arm, a brutal act that shocked the other villagers into stunned silence. The onlookers recoiled in absolute horror, witnessing young Shin's ruthless display. Deoxum screamed in agony, clutching his bleeding arm as young Shin sternly commanded him to raise his head. Standing over the cowering Deoxum, young Shin's form momentarily shifted, revealing the imposing presence of the Sword Emperor. Deoxum, trembling with terror, finally realized that this formidable figure was not the Mumyang he once knew. Young Shin's red eyes confirmed his pathetic, timid self was completely gone, replaced by a terrifyingly different person. Meanwhile, a mysterious long-haired figure instructed his subordinates to prioritize securing the severed meridians above all else. With a menacing grin, the figure commanded his followers to kill anyone who dared to obstruct their path. The Sword Emperor, Young Shin, stood ready amidst swirling dark energy, his powerful command echoing through the chaotic scene. Young Shin, now in his younger form, stood over the cowering Deoxum, who clutched his bleeding arm in terror. Young Shin's fierce, glowing red eyes met Deoxum's terrified gaze, confirming Deoxum's desperate fear of imminent death. Deoxum, trembling, desperately pleaded for forgiveness from Mumyang, his apologies echoing in the tense silence. Deoxum offered a meager bag of money, begging Young Shin to take it as a token of his insincere remorse. Young Shin stared down at Deoxum, coolly questioning the sincerity of his plea for forgiveness. Young Shin recalled the brutal past, remembering how Deoxum had starved, beaten, and abused him for years. He further remembered Deoxum's extortion and how he mercilessly trampled Young Shin when his meridians flared. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure in a wide-brimmed hat observed the young Mumyang from a distance, recognizing his potential. Young Shin, back in the present, declared that his body remembered every single act of cruelty Deoxum inflicted. Standing over the groveling man, Young Shin questioned the purpose of such a hollow apology, even with money. Despite Deoxum's bowed head, Young Shin saw through his feigned remorse, recognizing the anger beneath. Young Shin raised the bloodied sword high, preparing to deliver the final, decisive blow to Deoxum. He swung the blade, declaring that those who torment the weak and abuse martial arts deserve to lose their heads. The mysterious observer, recognizing Young Shin's words as a core belief of the Blue Sky Society, wondered how he knew it. Young Shin calmly walked away from the fallen Deoxum, leaving the scene behind him. He looked up, pondering his next steps in a world where he had no connections or allies. Suddenly, Young Shin reacted with a fierce shout, his attention drawn by an unseen disturbance. Deoxum, surprisingly still alive, frantically ran past, screaming desperately for help from anyone. Deoxum was then attacked by a white-robed figure oozing dark energy, who he identified as demonic humans. Young Shin's face contorted in a furious grimace, his eyes burning with a fierce, unyielding rage. Terrified villagers screamed, frantically scattering as they warned of the approaching, demonic humans. A sinister white-robed figure, emanating dark energy, revealed itself as a member of the Sun-Moon demonic cult, bearing their distinctive symbol. Young Shin's gaze sharpened, confirming the undeniable symbol of the nefarious Sun-Moon demonic cult. The ominous, dark energy oozing from the cultists' bodies sent a chilling wave of recognition through Young Shin. Young Shin gritted his teeth, seething with fury as he questioned how these demons, whom he thought he had destroyed, were still alive. Cultists in white robes mercilessly attacked the villagers, spilling blood as they secured the perimeter. Young Shin overheard the cultists' orders to find someone with severed meridians, realizing with a jolt that they might be hunting him. A cultist's grip on his weapon highlighted Young Shin's bitter thought that these monsters had not changed their innocent slaughtering ways. Standing before the blood-soaked village gate, Young Shin resolved that he could not simply stand by and watch the massacre unfold. Young Shin's gaze hardened as he declared that these monstrous cultists should not be allowed to exist in this world. With fierce determination, Young Shin charged forward, leaving the terrified villagers behind him. A panicked villager desperately pleaded with Mumyang to run, warning him that he would surely die if he confronted the cultists. Young Shin stood resolute, his back to the villagers, clutching his sword as he prepared to make his stand. Turning his head slightly, Young Shin declared that a true swordsman must always know the right moment to draw his blade. The villagers watched Mumyang with a mixture of fear and awe, unable to comprehend his resolve. Young Shin acknowledged his current physical weakness, admitting his body was pathetic and devoid of internal energy. Despite his changed body, Young Shin asserted that his fundamental way of martial arts remained steadfast and true. With a powerful surge of energy, Young Shin drew his sword, proudly proclaiming his past identity as the legendary Sword Emperor. A mysterious observer, hidden by a wide-brimmed hat, recognized Young Shin's sword stance as the Three Powers sword technique, despite rumors he never learned martial arts. The mysterious observer noted the intense golden aura around Young Shin, his Baiko point burning with an almost impossible level of focus. Young Shin's sharp eyes quickly assessed the incoming threats, identifying 3 cultists on his left and 4 on his right. With a powerful, decisive motion, Young Shin raised his sword high above his head, preparing to unleash a devastating strike. A fierce declaration of heaven escaped Young Shin's lips as his feet dug deep into the earth, anchoring him for the impending assault. Young Shin brought his blade down with blinding speed, a brilliant flash of light accompanying his lethal, descending strike. Amidst the chaos, Young Shin moved like a blur, his sword a deadly extension of his will as he engaged the surrounding cultists. His sword became a whirlwind of slashes and parries, Young Shin's movements a testament to his mastery as he fended off multiple attackers. With another resolute cry of "Earth," Young Shin seamlessly transitioned his defense into a brutal counterattack against his foes. A cultist was sent flying from Young Shin's powerful upward swing, while another reeled from a precise, impactful strike. Young Shin delivered a final, decisive blow, a confident smirk playing on his lips as he declared "person" to his defeated opponent. A sudden, sharp pain caused Young Shin to gasp "Ga," his body momentarily faltering amidst the relentless combat. Young Shin stood over a fallen, bloodied cultist, who crumpled to the ground, defeated by the young swordsman's prowess. The defeated cultist stared up in terror, whispering, "Such a monster." As Young Shin's intense gaze swept over the battlefield, Young Shin continued his relentless assault, another cultist collapsing under his precise and powerful sword strikes. Moving with deadly efficiency, Young Shin left a trail of incapacitated cultists in his wake, their bodies strewn across the dusty ground. The hidden observer, Lee Se-ha, watched in stunned disbelief, realizing Young Shin was using only the basic Three Powers sword technique. Lee Se-ha recognized Young Shin as an undeniable, natural sword talent, questioning the true nature of his extraordinary abilities. Young Shin's gaze shifted upwards, spotting several more shadowy cultists perched menacingly on the rooftops, ready to engage. A chilling smirk touched Young Shin's lips as he confidently challenged the new arrivals, asking if there were some left to fight. The remaining cultists on the ground stared in utter shock, unable to believe their entire first squad had been wiped out by a mere wanderer. Young Shin, gripping his sword, stood ready despite the pain, a fierce resolve in his eyes. A sudden wave of agony caused Young Shin to gasp, his body buckling as he struggled to remain upright. Young Shin grimaced in the rain, the realization hitting him hard that his body suffered from severed meridians. As a seizure racked his body, Young Shin questioned if these strange symptoms could be connected to something more profound. Unseen by Young Shin, 2 masked figures observed him from a distance, their presence ominous. The masked cultists confirmed Young Shin matched the wanted poster, identifying him as the boy with the 9 severed meridians. The masked leader, his eyes glowing red, issued a stern command to capture Young Shin, but to do so unharmed. From the rooftops, cultists descended rapidly, their movements swift and silent as they closed in on Young Shin. The masked leader reiterated his order, emphasizing the importance of capturing Young Shin without causing him injury. More cultists leaped from the surrounding buildings, their numbers growing as they converged on their target. Young Shin, gritting his teeth against the pain, tightened his grip on his sword, preparing for the inevitable clash. Suddenly, a blinding surge of blue lightning erupted from Young Shin, striking the approaching cultists and sending them flying. Young Shin's eye reflected the vibrant blue lightning, a look of bewildered surprise on his face as he questioned its origin. A new figure, Lee Se-ha, appeared on a rooftop, enveloped in crackling blue lightning, her presence commanding. Lee Se-ha stood poised, her form radiating powerful blue lightning, a silent declaration of her formidable strength. The masked cultists recognized the newcomer as the Black Cloud Playful Lady, realizing the Blue Sky Society had intervened. As more cultists gathered on the rooftops, Lee Se-ha stood ready, her back to the chaos, facing the new threat. The masked cultist leader, his red eyes burning, ordered his subordinates to prioritize the mission and buy him crucial time. Lee Se-ha charged forward with incredible speed, a powerful aura preceding her as she launched into action. With a swift motion, Lee Se-ha drew her sword, its blade glowing intensely with crackling blue lightning, ready to strike. Lee Se-ha, wreathed in crackling blue lightning, launched into the cultists, sending them flying with powerful strikes. Lee Se-ha landed with a powerful stomp, her footwork creating a shockwave of blue lightning. Young Shin's eyes widened in utter shock, a silent exclamation of disbelief escaping him. Lee Se-ha continued her relentless assault, swiftly dispatching more cultists with her lightning-infused attacks. Young Shin, still on the ground, recognized the technique, exclaiming, "Infinite steps," his certainty unwavering. Li Seha moved with incredible agility, her form radiating blue lightning, as Yang Xin identified the Southern Sky Palace's footwork. A menacing, shadowy cultist figure loomed over Yang Xin, who looked up with a fearful gaze. The masked cultist leader extended a hand towards Yang Xin, his red eyes glowing as he declared, "You're coming with me." Yang Xin struggled against the cultist's grip, his body trembling with a frustrated curse. Li Seha, still enveloped in brilliant blue lightning, charged towards the cultist leader with blinding speed. Li Seha struck the cultist leader with a lightning-infused attack, sending him flying as she questioned, "What?" The cultist leader, his red eyes burning, looked up in shock as Li Seha prepared for another lightning-charged strike. Li Seha stood over the fallen cultist, a confident smirk on her face, warning him to keep his hands off this kid. Yang Xin, still on the ground, looked up at Li Seha, his body trembling and tears welling in his eyes. Yang Xin's face contorted in extreme distress and pain, his eyes wide as he endured another internal struggle. Li Seha looked down with a concerned expression, exclaiming, "Ah," as she noticed Yang Xin's worsening condition. Li Seha cradled the unconscious Yang Xin, asking herself, "What do I do now?" Yang Xin's closed eyes showed faint shadows, indicating his deep unconsciousness. Yang Xin awoke with a sudden gasp, his eyes wide and distressed, still feeling the lingering effects of his ordeal. Li Seha, now with her hat removed, smiled gently at Yang Xin, asking, "Are you awake?" Li Seha offered a subtle, knowing smile from beneath her wide-brimmed hat. Yang Xin acknowledged her mastery of infinite steps, yet pondered why her sword art differed from the Southern Sky Palace's techniques. Li Seha assured Yang Xin his body was now fine, having calmed the yin-cold energy within his 9 yin-severed meridians. Yang Xin, bewildered, questioned how he, a man, could possess the 9 yin-severed meridians, a condition typically found in women. He continued to marvel at the immense difficulty of calming the yin-cold energy that plagued his 9 yin-severed meridians. Yang Xin observed Li Seha, noting her youthful voice suggested a rising star, yet her martial arts attainment was remarkably high. Li Seha, realizing her lapse in manners, reached up to remove her concealing hat. With a swift motion, Li Seha removed her hat, fully revealing her face to Yang Xin. Li Seha stood before him, her confident smile now fully visible. Introducing herself as Li Seha of the Blue Sky Society, she then invited Mumyang to join her. Li Seha offered to teach him martial arts and treat his meridians if he became her disciple, an offer Yang Xin found quite sudden. She explained her admiration, citing his straight sword marks and his unwavering resolve against the demonic humans before his collapse. Yang Xin expressed his curiosity about her method, having never heard of anyone successfully curing the 9 yin-severed meridians. Li Seha simply smiled, ready to unveil her unique solution. She revealed her hand, crackling with vibrant blue lightning, as the source of her confidence. Li Seha declared her mastery of the Heavenly Thunder True Yang art, a method she intended to teach him to open his meridians, emphasizing its unsuitability for women. Yang Xin conceded her point, realizing that overcoming 9 yin-severed meridians wasn't simple, as clumsy energy accumulation could lead to an early death. Li Seha countered that a man, with innate yang energy, could use her art and elixirs to build burning yang energy, offering a chance to overcome the meridians. Yang Xin pondered her words, recognizing the Heavenly Thunder True Yang art as a truly high-level martial art. He mused that overcoming this current obstacle and absorbing the remaining energy could forge the foundation to surpass his past life's martial realm. Yang Xin's gaze sharpened, his thoughts turning to the immediate importance of the situation at hand. Li Seha questioned Yang Xin's skepticism, asking why he believed she would take a mere sword boy she had never met as her disciple. Yang Xin recalled Li Seha's own words about martial responsibility, as she declared her desire for a disciple with a truly righteous heart, not one who wielded a sword lightly. Yang Xin's expression became serious, contemplating the profound meaning of a righteous heart. Yang Xin, still wary, directly asked Li Seha about the consequences if he chose not to accept her offer. Li Seha explained that refusal would mean continued targeting by demonic humans, forcing him into either a Blue Sky Society safe house or secluded protection. Yang Xin questioned the Blue Sky Society's willingness to protect him, suggesting it would be simpler to eliminate him and any potential future trouble. Li Seha countered that such an act would make them no different from the demonic path, asserting their duty to protect what they could, even if it meant sacrificing the big for the small. Yang Xin acknowledged the common practice of sacrificing the small for the greater good, noting that most people would prioritize holding on to the big things. Li Seha then declared her aspiration to be the kind of person who would hold on to the small things that others left behind. Yang Xin absorbed her words, a profound realization dawning upon him. Yang Xin internally concluded that someone willing to hold on to the small things was more than worthy of becoming his master. Li Seha watched Yang Xin, awaiting his decision with a calm demeanor. Young Shin bowed his head, humbly apologizing for his initial wariness and doubt regarding her sudden offer. Lee Se-ha smiled knowingly, then directly asked Young Shin if he had finally made up his mind. Young Shin, with newfound resolve, firmly declared his decision to follow her. Lee Se-ha praised his choice, affirming that Mumyang had made the right decision. Lee Se-ha then gently inquired if he possessed another name, finding Mumyang a bit unsuitable. Young Shin's expression darkened as he recalled the painful memory of Deoxum calling him Mumyang. Lee Se-ha explained the necessity of a new name to effectively shake off the relentless pursuit of the demonic cult. Young Shin, with a determined expression, declared his new surname would be Namgung, to honor his past life's Southern Sky Palace and its disciples. He further resolved to use Jun, meaning to finish, to signify completing his past life's unfinished business, including confronting the Sun-Moon demonic cult. Lee Se-ha, smiling, suggested Namgung Jun, if he had no other name in mind. Young Shin, now Namgung Jun, affirmed his new identity, stating he would go by that name. Lee Se-ha repeated the name Namgung Jun, seemingly testing it out. Lee Se-ha, with a pleased smile, remarked that the name Namgung Jun was not bad at all. Namgung Jun and Lee Se-ha sat facing each other, ready for the next step. Namgung Jun knelt respectfully, formally introducing himself as, your disciple, Namgung Jun. He then bowed deeply, offering his greetings to his new master. Lee Se-ha looked down at her new disciple with a gentle, approving smile. Lee Se-ha acknowledged her disciple, then announced that while it might be sudden, they would begin martial arts training immediately. Lee Se-ha grinned broadly, eager to start, while Namgung Jun looked surprised, questioning her sudden declaration. Lee Se-ha presented the Heavenly Thunder True Yang Art Manual, explaining that understanding its mnemonic formula was the foundation of all martial arts. She then asked if they should begin learning the mnemonic formula for the Heavenly Thunder True Yang Art. Lee Se-ha, with a confident gesture, placed her hand on the manual, reiterating that it was the secret manual for the Heavenly Thunder True Yang Art. Namgung Jun corrected her, clarifying his surname was Namgung, which she admitted she had never heard of before. Lee Se-ha began to explain the basics, assuming Namgung Jun, as a former sword boy, possessed some fundamental martial world knowledge. Namgung Jun listened attentively, respectfully affirming his understanding to his master. Lee Se-ha internally praised her master's genius, believing his talent would be crucial against the Sun-Moon demonic cult. She then challenged Namgung Jun, asking for his interpretation of what the formula said about internal energy. Namgung Jun explained that internal energy must be circulated vigorously through the Okjung point, feeling it was more like pushing than flowing. Lee Se-ha, amazed by his cleverness, praised his extraordinary comprehension, stating he learned 10 things from one. Lee Se-ha internally mused that she felt like she was talking to an equal, or perhaps an even greater master. Lee Se-ha, looking out the window, gently asked Namgung Jun if he wasn't tired, given the time. Namgung Jun, having memorized the mnemonic formula, declared his wish to begin meditation and breathing immediately. Lee Se-ha internally pondered, surprised, that he wouldn't be able to feel internal energy right after learning the method. Lee Se-ha reassured him she was there if anything went wrong, advising him not to overdo it, and Namgung Jun respectfully agreed. Namgung Jun began meditating, surrounded by vibrant energy, a feat Lee Se-ha knew usually took days for even talented individuals. Lee Se-ha observed him closely, realizing that with just one cycle of inhaling and exhaling, his body was already responding. Lee Se-ha continued her internal thought, concluding that he could already feel the energy, much to her astonishment. Namgung Jun internally noted that his absurdly strong blood vessels and meridians, combined with his past memories, were accelerating his progress. Lee Se-ha, seeing the energy around him, exclaimed in shock that he already felt the energy, proclaiming her disciple a genius. Namgung Jun felt the warm, burning yang energy, settling clearly in his energy center due to his body's previous coldness. Lee Se-ha clapped her hands, praising his wonderful performance, while Namgung Jun looked at his master. Lee Se-ha then demonstrated a technique, asking Namgung Jun if he could try copying her. Lee Se-ha confidently manifested blue lightning energy in her hand, showcasing her power. Lee Se-ha challenged him, asking if he thought he could do it, as Namgung Jun considered the martial world's caution against revealing strength. Namgung Jun decided there was no need to hide his power from his master and proceeded to manifest his own blue lightning. Lee Se-ha gasped in disbelief that he actually did it, feeling she had used up all her lifetime's luck for such a disciple. Namgung Jun expressed his desire to learn other martial arts like sword arts and footwork, and Lee Se-ha enthusiastically agreed. Lee Se-ha invited Namgung Jun to the Blue Sky Society, promising he would find a martial art that suited him there, which excited Namgung Jun. Namgung Jun reflected that simply copying the Southern Sky Palace's martial arts would only lead to the same tragic past. He clenched his fist, vowing to create martial arts that would surpass those of his past life. Namgung Jun and Lee Se-ha continued their journey along a dirt path. As they walked, Namgung Jun thought about the Blue Sky Society. Lee Se-ha explained that the Blue Sky Society was an alliance formed by survivors of clans exterminated by the Sun-Moon demonic cult. Namgung Jun questioned if the society's virtues of righteousness and chivalry didn't prioritize revenge against the demonic cult. He pressed further, asking if the destruction of the Sun-Moon demonic cult and revenge shouldn't be their top priority. Lee Se-ha explained that their first leader believed lives saved by chivalrous heroes should not be thrown back into resentment, as it went against their principles. She added that they used their saved lives to help others, choosing to embrace chivalry rather than revenge. Lee Se-ha explained that the Blue Sky Society's library contained martial arts from exterminated sects, Wandering Jianhu, and those donated by members upon initiation. She revealed that her own clan was also exterminated by the Sun-Moon demonic cult, clenching her fist in memory. Lee Se-ha told Namgung Jun that her martial arts were a mix of her clan's techniques and those she chose from the Blue Sky Society's library. She assured Namgung Jun he would also find a suitable martial art there, making him realize how the Southern Sky Palace's techniques ended up in the society. Namgung Jun reflected that 200 years had passed since the Southern Sky Palace's extermination, and the Blue Sky Society's standing was strong against the powerful Sun-Moon demonic cult. Lee Se-ha apologized for bringing up such a dark topic, noticing Namgung Jun's contemplative mood. Namgung Jun dismissed her apology, saying he only showed a pathetic side of himself, and Lee Se-ha urged him to hurry as they were almost there. Lee Se-ha quizzed Namgung Jun on Mount Huang's 4 wonders, pines, mist, rocks, hot springs, praising his cleverness when he answered correctly. She then revealed that the Blue Sky Society was hidden within the 4 wonders of Mount Huang. Lee Se-ha instructed Namgung Jun to follow her footsteps closely, as they needed to pass through a formation. Namgung Jun arrives at a misty, mountainous area, looking surprised. He recognizes the grand structure as the Southern Sky Palace, noting its location is identical to his past life. Lee Se-ha and Namgung Jun are welcomed back by other members, including the Heavenly Sword Hall Master. Lee Se-ha explains that all Blue Sky Society members wear bamboo hats outside, teasing Namgung Jun about the reason. Namgung Jun and Lee Se-ha walk through the grand entrance of the Southern Sky Palace. Yoon Kyung-jang, the Ink Master, greets them, questioning if Namgung Jun is the child Lee Se-ha mentioned. Lee Se-ha proudly declares Namgung Jun her disciple, pulling him closer as he looks surprised. Yoon Kyung-jang observes Namgung Jun, remarking that Lee Se-ha must have liked him a lot to take him as a disciple. He agrees to skip all tests except martial arts due to Lee Se-ha's guarantee and asks when the martial arts test will be held. Namgung Jun, interrupting Lee Se-ha, eagerly volunteers to take the martial arts test immediately. Namgung Jun confirms he has only learned the Heavenly Thunder True Yang art, despite Yoon Kyung-jang's surprise at his readiness. Yoon Kyung-jang's eyes narrow, finding Namgung Jun's eagerness interesting. He instructs Namgung Jun to block a single strike from the man standing beside him. Kong Mong of the Ink Fragrance Department steps forward, ready for the challenge. Namgung Jun asks his master what to do since he doesn't have a sword. Lee Se-ha hands Namgung Jun a special sword, explaining that an ordinary one wouldn't be enough. Namgung Jun gratefully accepts the sword from Lee Se-ha. Kong Mong draws his sword, preparing to strike, as Lee Se-ha advises Namgung Jun to dodge. Kong Mong glares intensely, ominously warning Namgung Jun that he will die. Kong Mong unleashes a powerful, swift sword strike towards Namgung Jun. Kong Mong's powerful sword strike descended upon Namgung Jun with a resounding wham. Namgung Jun, with surprising sturdiness, skillfully deflected the strike, leaving Kong Mong bewildered. A sharp swish echoed as the blades clashed and separated. Namgung Jun swiftly counterattacked, pushing Kong Mong back with a forceful bang. Kong Mong stared in disbelief, questioning if Namgung Jun had truly deflected his attack. Namgung Jun prepared for another strike, raising his sword with focused intent. Kong Mong recognized the technique, realizing it was the same single strike he himself had unleashed. Namgung Jun struck again, knocking Kong Mong to the ground with a powerful thud. Kong Mong, now on the ground, gripped his sword, his face a mix of anger and shock. He mused that such power, despite Namgung Jun's slender frame, couldn't be mere physical strength. Kong Mong's eyes widened as he identified the source of Namgung Jun's strength, pure sword chi. Lee Se-ha cheered, thrilled that her disciple had blocked Kong Mong's sword and even counterattacked. Yoon Kyung-jang furrowed his brow, recalling Namgung Jun's claim of only learning a cultivation method. Kong Mong's foot slid back, a clear sign he had been pushed by the young man. Yoon Kyung-jang pondered the implications, wondering if the society's future depended on this one cloud. He concluded that if Namgung Jun truly only learned a cultivation method, he possessed incredible innate sword talent. Kong Mong and Li Seha were surprised to see the ink master, Yun Kyungjong, descend the stairs. Yun Kyungjong considered the potential trouble if the society leader were to take Namgung Jun as a disciple. He approached Namgung Jun, asking for his name, to which the young man replied, Namgung Jun. Yun Kyungjong placed a hand on Namgung Jun's shoulder, formally inducting him as a cloud of the Blue Sky Society. Li Seha, smiling, encouraged her disciple to swiftly achieve 4 clouds. Kong Mong explained that a disciple's hierarchy shifted with the number of clouds they possessed. Kong Mong extended his hand, offering a gift as he admitted learning a valuable lesson from Namgung Jun. He held a cloud medallion, musing how he, the examiner, ended up giving a gift, yet admired Namgung Jun's calm acceptance. Namgung Jun respectfully thanked Kong Mong, while Li Seha eagerly asked if her disciple could now enter the armory. The group stood ready, the path to the armory now open. The others confirmed Namgung Jun's entry, and Li Seha excitedly grabbed his hand, urging him to go. Li Seha briskly pulled Namgung Jun along, as Yun Kyungjong observed, musing about providing the right environment for his growth. Yun Kyungjong continued, stating that while the Heavenly Sword Hall Master provided sunlight and water, they must offer the rich soil. Kong Mong looked down, his mind still replaying the encounter, pondering Namgung Jun's name. He clenched his hand, the memory of Namgung Jun's single, powerful strike still astonishing him. Yun Kyungjong calmly advised Kong Mong that it would be wise to change his sword, catching Kong Mong by surprise. Kong Mong glanced down at his blade, revealing a clear crack marring its surface. The grand, self-reflection armory stood before them, its name signifying a place for introspection. Namgung Jun gazed up, noting the armory's immense scale, far surpassing the Southern Sky Palace's library. As Namgung Jun walked through the vast halls, Li Seha explained that most sects restricted access to secret manuals. She clarified that they, however, had no such restrictions, needing to grow strong against the Sun-Moon demonic cult, holding a 3 clouds manual. Namgung Jun observed that restrictions were replaced by a standard, to which Li Seha affirmed that lower cloud ranks obscured true understanding. He realized the self-reflection armory was for assessing one's qualification to read secret manuals, then declared he would look for himself. Li Seha offered to pick a martial art suitable for him, but Namgung Jun politely declined her assistance. Namgung Jun confidently declared he would choose a secret manual himself. A subtle grin played on Namgung Jun's lips, hinting at his hidden intentions. Li Seha agreed, but insisted Namgung Jun show her his chosen manual, to which he readily assented. The Blue Sky Society's grand architecture stood bathed in the warm hues of a setting sun. Namgung Jun stood amidst countless books in the vast armory, while Yong'ai sat diligently at a nearby desk. Yong'ai, recalling Li Seha's instruction to offer advice, worriedly wondered if this arrangement was truly acceptable. Li Seha, with a smile, informed Yong'ai she had urgent matters to attend to, leaving Namgung Jun in the armory. Yong'ai, still pondering Li Seha's words about guiding a lost disciple, felt a growing unease. Namgung Jun rapidly flipped through numerous books, prompting Yong'ai to question if he was even reading them. Realizing Namgung Jun was not lost but actively creating a mess, Yong'ai's patience began to wear thin. Yong'ai, deciding to issue a gentle warning to the one-cloud disciple, prepared to use a training sword. Namgung Jun turned, a surprised "what?" escaping his lips as Yong'ai approached with the training weapon. Namgung Jun unleashed a flurry of incredibly swift sword strikes, leaving only blurred afterimages. Yong'ai stared in utter disbelief, realizing the incredible speed was unmistakable. He understood Namgung Jun wasn't randomly browsing, but specifically targeting manuals for advanced sword techniques. Namgung Jun practiced, enveloped in crackling blue lightning, confirming his focus on fast sword manuals. The disciple continued his intense practice, radiating a powerful, glowing aura of energy. Yong'ai's hand trembled, his mind reeling from the shocking display he had just witnessed. He mused that the sword strike Namgung Jun performed moments ago was like a sudden, blinding flash of pure lightning, leaving Yong'ai utterly stunned. Namgung Jun, with a piercing gaze, directly questioned the identity of the figure before him. Yong'ai, visibly startled, uttered a confused "huh," as Namgung Jun stood facing the Sword Demon Senior. Yong'ai, sweating with apprehension, listened as Namgung Jun sternly repeated his inquiry, "What are you?" The Sword Demon Senior, enveloped in a crimson aura, pondered the unique martial forms he had just witnessed. Namgung Jun, his eyes narrowed, silently wondered if the energy he sensed was truly demonic. The Sword Demon Senior grinned menacingly, realizing demonic humans had infiltrated the Blue Sky Society's core, while Namgung Jun gripped his sword, questioning how such a breach occurred. Namgung Jun stood poised, facing the Sword Demon Senior and a flustered Yong'ai amidst scattered books. Namgung Jun, in deep thought, pondered the unsettling presence of a demonic human in their midst. Yong'ai frantically tried to explain Namgung Jun was just a new recruit, but the Sword Demon Senior questioned his status. The Sword Demon Senior brusquely pushed Yong'ai aside, then mused on Namgung Jun's potential affiliation with the Four Clouds and Black Cloud. The Sword Demon Senior recognized Namgung Jun's sword art as unfamiliar, noting his non-hostile demonic energy, as Namgung Jun revealed it was his own creation. Stepping over the scattered manuals, the Sword Demon Senior concluded that Namgung Jun's claim seemed genuine. With an amused grin, the Sword Demon Senior challenged Namgung Jun to demonstrate his sword art, promising a reward for satisfaction. Yong'ai, in a panic, cried out to the senior, reiterating that Namgung Jun was a new disciple learning a basic cultivation method. The Sword Demon Senior dismissed Yong'ai's concerns, telling him to simply observe, leaving Yong'ai to silently yearn for the Heavenly Sword Hall Master's arrival. Namgung Jun, drawing his blade, boldly stated his desired reward, an elixir. The Sword Demon Senior smiled, expressing his approval of Namgung Jun's straightforwardness, a rare trait among the youth. With a wide, confident grin, the Sword Demon Senior challenged Namgung Jun to attack with full force, promising to match his level without using internal energy. Namgung Jun, with a calm intensity, subtly offered the Sword Demon Senior permission to use internal energy if he deemed it necessary. The Sword Demon Senior burst into maniacal laughter, declaring Namgung Jun crazy before lunging forward to initiate the duel. Namgung Jun initiated the duel, unleashing his first form, single flash, in a powerful, bright strike against the Sword Demon Senior. The Sword Demon Senior blocked Namgung Jun's powerful strike with his sword, noting its surprising and considerable weight. With a forceful HYH, the Sword Demon Senior parried Namgung Jun's attack, pushing back with immense power. Namgung Jun was sent flying backward from the powerful parry, but quickly landed on his feet and recovered his stance. He prepared his next move, a sword path splitting towards an upper stance, with a shimmering blue aura around his blade. Namgung Jun incorporated the flow of the 12 swords of the Dying Mountain, preparing a multi-slash attack. With glowing eyes, Namgung Jun declared he would multiply a single slash into 3, executing the technique with fierce determination. The Sword Demon Senior observed Namgung Jun, noting that the kid was using the same technique as his own. The Sword Demon Senior grinned, impressed that Namgung Jun was adding a variation technique to his martial style. Namgung Jun reflected that this good sword made him feel like he was regaining my past life senses. He realized his weak body, born with severed meridians, can't hold out and needed to end the fight quickly. Namgung Jun decided he needed to be faster and more precise, engaging the Sword Demon Senior in a flurry of quick strikes. He executed 12th form, Eternal Lightning Descent, by widening his stride, charging with a powerful lightning-infused attack. Namgung Jun's lightning-fast descent created a massive blue energy blast, striking fiercely towards the Sword Demon Senior. The Sword Demon Senior was hit by the powerful blue lightning attack, the impact creating a bright, explosive flash. Despite being struck, the Sword Demon Senior grinned maniacally, finding the intense fight exciting. Truly exciting. Namgung Jun maintained his determined stance, holding his sword ready, his eyes focused on his opponent. He stated, "I can see the sword path of the next technique," observing the Sword Demon Senior with enhanced perception. Namgung Jun explained that, since what is held in my hand is a forged flash of lightning, his next move was dictated by it. He concluded, "I must naturally become a straight bolt of lightning and charge forward, preparing for another direct assault." Namgung Jun declared his next move was the optimal sword path, his eyes glowing with fierce determination. He then unleashed the 13th form, Single Thunderbolt, a powerful lightning strike aimed at his opponent. The lightning attack flashed brightly, illuminating the arena as it connected with the Sword Demon Senior. The Sword Demon Senior's hand, gripping his sword, bled profusely from the impact of the strike. He admitted feeling threatened by Namgung Jun and instinctively channeled his internal energy to defend himself. His eye twitched, confirming the surge of internal energy he had just deployed. The duel continued with both Namgung Jun and the Sword Demon Senior exchanging swift, powerful blows. The Sword Demon Senior, now acknowledging Namgung Jun's prowess, had no choice but to admit his skill. He recognized that Namgung Jun possessed a supernatural power, a gift he was born with. Reflecting on the fight, the Sword Demon Senior mused about the techniques Namgung Jun had just displayed. He questioned if there were 13 techniques in total, forming a complete sword art, to which Namgung Jun confirmed with a yes. Namgung Jun then began to reveal the name of the sword art, uttering lightning. With a serious expression. He completed the name, declaring it the 13 lightning strikes of the flash, his gaze firm. A surprised spectator reacted, realizing Namgung was tempering his techniques against the Sword Demon Senior to create new forms. The Sword Demon Senior, impressed, recognized it as a sword art of at least 3 clouds and addressed Namgung directly. He then expressed his liking for Namgung and extended an invitation to the Inkwell Hall. Namgung, looking puzzled, pondered the meaning of Inkwell Hall. Dan Sohai, observing the scene, reacted with a furious question, demanding to know the meaning of this invitation. She then angrily questioned if the Inkwell Hall was a place that stole other people's disciples. The Sword Demon Senior, unfazed, boldly affirmed his interest in Namgung and challenged her. Is there a problem? Dan Sohai furiously declared Namgung her disciple, warning anyone not to touch him. As spiritual beasts clashed, Dan Sohai confronted the Sword Demon Senior, who mockingly dismissed her claim, prompting her to challenge him to a fight. Namgung calmly intervened, urging both of them to stop their escalating dispute. He then announced his intention to go to the Inkwell Hall. Dan Sohai reacted with surprise as Namgung reiterated his plan, adding that he would go when the time comes. Namgung explained he would be the Inkwell Hall Master's sparring partner, which confused a small observer. The Sword Demon Senior reacted with agitation, questioning Namgung's words while Dan Sohai looked annoyed. The Sword Demon Senior then burst into maniacal laughter, declaring Namgung had brought something interesting and urged him not to delay. Namgung presented the Sword Demon Senior with a small, ornate box. The Sword Demon Senior, smiling, announced his departure, leaving Namgung and Dan Sohai behind. Dan Sohai grumbled in irritation, calling the Sword Demon Senior an annoying bastard. She then questioned Namgung about the box he held, which he revealed to be the promised elixir. The box opened to reveal a glowing white crane pill, a potent medicine for building internal energy. Namgung, puzzled, asked why they were going to the Inkwell Hall instead of the Heavenly Sword Hall. Dan Sohai explained that new, Cloud, members must compete during an adjustment period to earn the right to choose their hall. Namgung, holding the elixir, confidently vowed to win his way into the Heavenly Sword Hall. He then consumed the white crane pill, immediately clutching his stomach and crying out in pain. Namgung writhed on the floor, experiencing a severe seizure triggered by the elixir. He began meditating on his bed, enduring the intense effects of the pill. Namgung protected himself with burning yang energy, which reduced the pain and steadily improved his Heavenly Thunder True Yang art. Namgung meditated, feeling his Heavenly Thunder True Yang art steadily improve, knowing he must clear his first acupoint once he built enough internal energy. He lay on his bed, deep in thought, as the process continued. Yet, he cautioned himself against rushing, understanding that even a minor slip could lead to internal energy deviation, so he decided to focus on fundamental physical strength starting tomorrow. The next day, under the bright sun, Namgung was already diligently training his physical strength, carrying a heavy bucket. Meanwhile, Elder Yoon Kyung-jong and another elder observed the new recruits, noting this class had quite a few promising talents recruited with great effort. They watched as many promising talents trained hard in the courtyard, pleased to see everyone's dedication. Yoon Kyung-jong inquired about a particular person, learning her name was Dan Sohai. Dan Sohai fiercely practiced her sword, rumored to possess the talent to challenge a hall master in the future. However, one elder remarked that she still seemed to fall short compared to Bakery Chong from Shangxi. They then noticed Namgung, who was only training his fundamental physical strength, not practicing swordsmanship, which puzzled them. Another elder questioned if he could really win like that, given his unusual training method. The elders mused that he should have mastered those basics before coming here, as there was barely enough time to swing a sword. Yoon Kyung-jong stroked his beard, stating they would only know the true measure of the recruits once they faced each other. He then decided that due to the large number of recruits, the placement exam would be held as a martial duel, and he would prepare it as such. 3 days later, a grand martial arts arena was ready for the placement exam. Spectators gathered, eager to see the decent talents compete, wondering if the duels had begun. An official stepped forward, commanding everyone to quiet down and take their places, announcing the start of the first martial duel. With a resounding strike, the official signaled the commencement of the duel. He then called out Dan Sohai and Namgung, instructing them to step forward for their match. Dan Sohai, sword in hand, warned Namgung not to expect an easy fight just because he was young, but he calmly told her to draw her sword, as he would wait. Namgung calmly told Dan Sohai there was no need to wait. Dan Sohai, utterly shocked, could only exclaim in disbelief. Enraged, Dan Sohai lunged forward, calling him an arrogant bastard. Namgung's sharp eye intently followed her incoming attack. With a blur of motion, Namgung effortlessly parried Dan Sohai's furious strike. Dan Sohai stared, bewildered, as her attack was blocked. From above, an official's booming voice declared Namgung the winner. The surrounding spectators murmured in surprise, wondering who the boy was who defeated Dan So-hai so easily. Meanwhile, Lee Se-ha observed, remarking that the brat had become even more refined, while the sword demon senior smirked. Dan So-hai stood trembling in disbelief as Namgung Jun calmly walked away. She couldn't fathom how he had defeated her with a single move. Soon after, the official announced the next match, and a voice exclaimed, "Oh, here he comes." A new participant, observed by many, began to make his way to the arena. Another spectator announced that it was Baekri Chong, the rising star of Shangxi. Baekri Chong, with his long white hair, stepped confidently into the arena. The official then commanded the martial duel to begin. Baekri Chong's opponent, already in position, wondered if Baekri Chong was looking down on him by not drawing his sword. Feeling disrespected, the opponent swiftly drew his sword. In a flash, Baekri Chong struck, instantly defeating his opponent. The defeated opponent gasped, utterly stunned by the swift blow. Baekri Chong, with his long white hair, looked intently, ready for the next challenge. Just as expected, Baekri Chong defeated his opponent with a single, swift blow. The official's voice boomed, declaring Baekri Chong the undisputed winner of the match. Namgung Jun, observing from below, wondered if Baekri Chong had just glanced his way. A subtle smile played on Namgung Jun's lips as he found the situation interesting, refusing to yield. Spectators murmured, surprised that Baekri Chong, a rising star, was now out of the finals. The name Namgung Jun was etched onto the record, sparking curiosity among the crowd. Many wondered aloud about Namgung Jun's origins, admitting they had never heard of him before. Lee Se-ha, passing by, offered a polite greeting to the hall masters, a knowing smirk hidden. She struggled to contain her amusement, finding it difficult to hold back her laughter. Walking away, Lee Se-ha mused that Namgung Jun's performance was no surprise, eagerly awaiting the finals. Finally, the grand day arrived, marking the highly anticipated tournament finals. Baekri Chong stood in the arena, his gaze fixed, contemplating his opponent, Namgung Jun. He observed Namgung Jun, acknowledging that despite his seemingly frail body, there was something more. Baekri Chong recalled the incredible sword power Namgung Jun had displayed in previous matches. A flashback showed Namgung Jun's terrifyingly outstanding sword chi, cutting down a foe. Remembering his clan's sacrifice, Baekri Chong hardened his resolve, vowing that he must win. Dan Young-se, the Iron Tower Hall Master, stepped forward, asking the two finalists if they were ready. He introduced himself as the referee, taking charge of the momentous final duel. Dan Young-se urged both Namgung Jun and Baekri Chong to fight a martial duel they would never regret. The referee's voice boomed, declaring the final duel between Namgung Jun and Baekri Chong to begin. Baekri Chong, drawing his sword, recalled the rumors of his opponent's heavy sword specialty. With a determined thrust, Baekri Chong lunged forward, his foot striking the ground. He charged, vowing to deny Namgung Jun any chance to wield his heavy weapon. Baekri Chong unleashed a swift, powerful sword attack towards his opponent. Namgung Jun, with surprising agility, effortlessly dodged the incoming strike. He parried Baekri Chong's attack, a shockwave rippling through the air. Baekri Chong stared in disbelief, stunned that his attack was dodged so easily. Realizing Namgung Jun had subtly shifted his center of gravity, Baekri Chong watched as his opponent prepared to strike. Confused, Baekri Chong wondered if it wasn't a heavy sword after all, as Namgung Jun unleashed his first form, single flash. Namgung Jun's lightning-infused sword connected with Baekri Chong in a blinding flash. Baekri Chong reeled from the impact, questioning the immense power contained within Namgung Jun's seemingly frail body. The two combatants were locked in a fierce, energy-charged sword clash. The spectators gasped, their faces etched with shock and awe at the unfolding spectacle. Baekri Chong, holding his sword, addressed Namgung Jun, having one crucial question for him. He asked if Namgung Jun didn't originally use a heavy sword as his primary weapon. Namgung Jun, with a knowing look, replied that in Jianhu, one always needs a hidden trump card. Baekri Chong was astonished, asking if Namgung Jun had truly concealed a fast sword technique of such caliber, to which Namgung Jun simply chuckled. With a sigh of acceptance, Baekri Chong looked at his sword and gracefully admitted his defeat. Namgung Jun bowed respectfully, acknowledging it had been a truly good martial duel. The crowd erupted in a thunderous roar as the martial arts duel concluded, celebrating the swift victory. The onlookers were absolutely stunned, marveling at how every single martial duel was ended with just one lightning-fast strike. Lee Se-ha beamed with pride, declaring her magnificent disciple, Namgung Jun, the undisputed winner of the martial arts tournament. Namgung Jun, acknowledging the crowd's cheers, offered a confident, satisfied smile. Dan Young-se presented Namgung Jun with a reward for his impressive victory in the tournament. The reward was revealed to be a rare, 300-year-old He Shou Wu, a highly potent elixir. Namgung Jun accepted the ancient elixir with surprising calm, leaving the elders wondering if he was just stoic or something else entirely. Dan Yungsei began his recruitment pitch, boasting that their Flying God Hall ranked among the top 3 in the 10 halls. The Sword Demon Senior then chimed in, suggesting his hall was the best starting point for anyone aiming to become the future Sword Lord. Namgung Jun internally reflected on his ultimate goal to become the Sword Lord, a position crucial for confronting the Sun Moon demonic cult. Namgung Jun, looking utterly bewildered, questioned what the elders were even talking about. The Sword Demon Senior immediately grabbed Dan Yungsei, claiming Namgung Jun had already agreed to join his Inkwell Hall, which Namgung Jun silently denied. The Sword Demon Senior, drawing his sword, declared his blood was boiling from seeing such a promising recruit for the first time in a while. Meanwhile, another elder from the sect-crushing hall stepped forward, promising Namgung Jun their full support if he joined them. The elders erupted into a chaotic argument, each vehemently claiming Namgung Jun while he stood by, clearly hearing their squabble for the very first time. The Sword Demon Senior escalated the argument, reminding everyone that he and Namgung Jun had already crossed swords, implying a prior claim. Namgung Jun finally stepped forward, preparing to address the bickering elders with a polite but firm refusal. With a confident declaration, Namgung Jun announced his decision to join the Heavenly Sword Hall, much to everyone's shock. The other hall masters turned to Li Seiha in disbelief, questioning if she had pulled a trick, only for her to proudly declare Namgung Jun as her disciple. The elders, realizing the truth, begrudgingly acknowledged that Namgung Jun's faint energy signature indeed belonged to the Heavenly Thunder True Yang art. With a confident declaration, one cloud member Namgung Jun announced his wish to join the Heavenly Sword Hall. Heavenly Sword Hall Master Li Seiha, with a beaming smile, immediately accepted his request. Namgung Jun, having been accepted, arrived at the majestic Heavenly Sword Hall, nestled high among the clouds. He looked around, a slight frown creasing his brow, wondering, and so I came here, but... Suddenly surrounded by sword-wielding martial artists, Namgung Jun looked utterly bewildered, wondering, what on earth is this? One martial artist, Gong Junam, stepped forward, boasting, I've heard plenty about your skills. He then chimed in, questioning if Namgung Jun's fast sword talent was real or if he was just a helpless chick. Gong Junam repeated his boast, I've heard plenty about your skills. He continued to taunt, asking if Namgung Jun was a worthy recruit or just a helpless chick. Namgung Jun, with a confident smirk, retorted, is that how it is? A swordsman speaks with his sword. Very well, Namgung Jun thought, as his hand moved to the hilt of his blade. Drawing his sword, Namgung Jun confidently commanded, draw your sword and step forward. His eyes gleamed with fierce determination, a confident, satisfied smile gracing his lips. Meanwhile, across the courtyard, Gong Junam prepared his stance, ready to engage. Gong Junam lunged forward, his blade shimmering with powerful energy, initiating the attack. Namgung Jun moved with blinding speed, his feet a mere blur on the ground. He met Gong Junam's attack with a lightning-fast counterstrike, a blur of motion. Gong Junam's eyes widened in absolute shock, exclaiming, infinite steps. The two blades clashed fiercely, as Gong Junam, utterly stunned, realized a rookie had mastered infinite steps. From above, Li Seiha watched the intense duel unfold, a pleased expression on her face. Li Seiha watched the intense clash, noting the Heavenly Sword Hall's initiation rite was meant to crush rookies, but Jun drew his sword without faltering, just as she expected. Two observers, astonished, remarked that Jun's speed wasn't falling behind at all, even when clashing blades with Gong Junam. Another observer exclaimed that Jun wasn't just keeping up, he was doing much more. Jun moved with incredible speed, pushing faster and faster, easily overtaking his opponent's pace. Gong Junam, gripping his sword, internally questioned how Jun could unleash such caliber of sword strikes with his body and internal energy. Gong Junam, looking at Jun, finally understood why the hall master had taken him in as a disciple. Gong Junam, with a curious grin, declared his interest in the unfolding duel. Gripping his sword tighter, Gong Junam wondered just how far Jun could keep up with him. From above, Li Seiha, with a stern expression, declared that the sparring match was enough. Gong Junam looked up at Li Seiha, wondering if she was worrying about her disciple like a true master. Gong Junam, with a confident smile, proposed to Jun that they spar with a heavy sword next time. Gong Junam introduced himself, and Namgung Jun, bowing respectfully, returned the greeting, calling it an honor. The majestic Heavenly Sword Hall stood grandly, a testament to its power and prestige. Two members discussed Jun's impressive martial arts tournament win and how all the hall masters fought to recruit him. The Heavenly Sword Hall members welcomed Jun, acknowledging him as no ordinary rookie and someone they should learn from. As night fell over the heavenly sword hall, a crescent moon cast its gentle glow upon the silent grounds. Later, Namgung Jun was on the floor, clutching his chest, as his seizures were getting worse. Sweat dripped from his face as Namgung Jun realized the cold energy had grown stronger than ever before. He desperately channeled the lightning energy of the heavenly thunder Truyang arc, determined to hold out until the seizure subsided. As Namgung Jun struggled, a blurred figure swiftly approached him. Jun struggled with his seizure, his body glowing intensely as energy surged around him. Lee Se-ha, standing behind Jun, channeled her energy to assist him through the agonizing seizure. The intense golden energy surrounding Jun and Se-ha gradually began to dissipate. Jun thanked Se-ha for her timely intervention, admitting her energy had helped him through the seizure much easier. Jun declared his urgent need to quickly raise his attainment of the heavenly thunder Truyang art. Se-ha affirmed that his 9 severed meridians would only grow stronger, prompting Jun to reveal his next step. Jun requested Se-ha's help with the ingestion of the He-Shou Wu, a powerful elixir. Se-ha readily agreed, assuring Jun she would handle the task. Jun immediately began consuming the He-Shou Wu, biting into the root. Jun noted that the 300-year-old He-Shou Wu, though not a premium elixir, was still valuable. He affirmed that the elixir would be of great help in building up his internal energy. Jun announced he was ready, as Se-ha placed her hands on his back to assist with the absorption. Jun explained his strategy to circulate internal energy along the heavenly thunder Truyang art path, preventing the elixir's energy from scattering. Golden energy flared around both Jun and Se-ha as they focused on the absorption process. Se-ha observed Jun's skillful internal energy circulation, noting how the He-Shou Wu blended perfectly into his art, like an old master. Se-ha watched in disbelief as Jun absorbed all of the He-Shou Wu's energy, leaving nothing behind. Se-ha was utterly astonished, having never heard of anyone absorbing every last drop of an elixir's energy. Lightning crackled around Jun's eyes, and Se-ha marveled at his incredible aptitude, despite his severed meridians. Se-ha praised Jun, suggesting he could challenge the promotion exam right away, to which Jun humbly vowed to devote himself further. Se-ha told Jun to get some rest and then headed out, leaving him to recover. The figure stood amidst a bamboo forest, looking towards the distant mountains. As the figure walked, a rush of thoughts from the recent meditation filled their mind. The figure, now identified as Lee Se-ha, felt a surge of power, believing she could break through her stagnated heavenly thunder Truyang art. A confident smile spread across Lee Se-ha's face, realizing her breakthrough was all thanks to Jun. The next day dawned over the traditional martial arts compound. Namgung Jun practiced his sword techniques, striking a wooden dummy with powerful, rapid movements. An instructor explained the small extension sword technique, emphasizing the 50% comprehension required for missions. The instructor demonstrated the sequence of movements, instructing the disciples to watch closely and practice. Namgung Jun stepped forward, his sword ready to mimic the demonstrated technique. A look of surprise crossed Namgung Jun's face as he executed the sword technique. Namgung Jun successfully struck the dummy on his very first try, astonishing the other disciples. The disciples murmured in disbelief, questioning how Namgung Jun mastered a new martial form on his first attempt without prior instruction. The instructor recalled seeing the hall master leaving her quarters yesterday, sparking a thought. The instructor confronted Namgung Jun, directly asking if the hall master had given him separate lessons. Namgung Jun, holding 2 swords, denied receiving separate lessons from the hall master. Namgung Jun confidently declared they could move directly to the great extension sword technique. The disciples were utterly astonished, calling Namgung Jun a monster for understanding a new martial form so quickly. Kong Mong acknowledged Namgung Jun's great mastery and talent, considering his potential impact on the other hall members. Other disciples found it reassuring to have Namgung Jun, but also felt motivated to work harder to avoid being overtaken. Kong Mong then agreed to teach Namgung Jun the great extension sword technique. Namgung Jun, ever the quick study, practiced his sword forms, ready to follow any instruction. Meanwhile, the Blue Sky Society's grand conference room was abuzz with a serious gathering. Yoon Kyung-jong laid out the next agenda, the escalating situation in Jiangxi province, fueled by the Iron Battle Camp. The discussion quickly turned to force, with the fiery sword demon senior eagerly offering his intervention. Next on the docket was Namgung Jun, the Heavenly Sword Hall's One Cloud member, and his controversial entry into Jianghu. Lee Se-ha, his master, expressed deep reservations about sending him back out after his rescue from the demonic cult. Dan Young-se vehemently argued against it, reminding everyone of the initial reason they saved the boy with severed meridians. Bakery Chong added to the concern, noting Jun's mastery of the Heavenly Thunder Truyang art made him an even bigger target. The Heavenly Sword Hall master, Lee Se-ha, was then directly asked for her crucial opinion. Yoon Kyung-jong, with a thoughtful gaze, awaited Lee Se-ha's decision on the matter. Lee Se-ha, with a confident smile, declared Namgung needed no protection from anyone. She recalled Jun's profound words about martial artists taking full responsibility for their own blades. Lee Se-ha remembered their first meeting, where Jun's fierce conviction had left a lasting impression. She passionately advocated for protecting Jun's righteousness and guiding his extraordinary talent. Namgung, with his determined spirit, was destined to be guided into the light, not sheltered. The sword demon senior erupted, slamming the table and questioning their narrow focus on risk over genius. He challenged the room, asserting that no one present could match Jun's unparalleled potential. The sword demon senior scorned their cowardice, calling it pathetic to fear wielding such a sharp weapon. Dan Young-se supported the notion, highlighting Jun's astonishing creative talent as a future asset to their society. Yoon Kyung-jong then proposed a clever compromise, permit Jun's entry into Jianghu, but with a crucial caveat. Yoon Kyung-jong, ever the strategist, proposed a crucial exclusion, no missions tied to the Sun-Moon demonic cult. Agreed upon by all, the Sword Demon Senior, Namgung, and Hyo-il accepted the terms. Lee Se-ha, with a knowing smile, observed the proceedings with keen interest. For now, young hero Namgung would focus his talents on missions within Anhui province, specifically the details of his first assignment. Namgung confirmed his task, investigate the unorthodox Bei clan gang in Dongling. He pondered, confident in his abilities, that he could easily handle this mission alone. Lee Se-ha then announced that Jun's first mission had officially been assigned. Since it was his debut, she instructed him to go with Hyo-il, who introduced himself with a polite bow. Namgung, ever respectful, offered a polite greeting to his senior companion. However, a peculiar flask caught his eye, prompting him to question its contents. He directly asked if the mysterious liquid was, by any chance, alcohol. Hyo-il confirmed it was alcohol but assured Jun he only needed it when wielding his sword, which only deepened Jun's concern. Now, Namgung found himself even more worried about his new companion. Hyo-il, sensing the mood, suggested they first head to the marketplace to gather some rumors. Meanwhile, on a nearby boat, a group of men ominously commanded to pull him up. A man in a cage was brutally pulled from the water, coughing and sputtering. The leader of the group, a menacing figure, then questioned if the captive was ready to talk. He gave the man a grim choice, pay back his debt or hand over his daughter. The caged man, utterly distraught, pleaded for just a little more time. But the ruthless leader, with a furious glare, simply ordered him locked back up. The desperate caged man, still sputtering from the water, continued to beg his captors for mercy. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appeared on the bridge above, commanding the ruthless captors to stop their cruel actions. One of the captors angrily demanded the newcomer's identity, only to recognize him as a member of the Blue Sky Society. The arrogant captor scoffed, finding it ridiculous that a mere one cloud from the Blue Sky Society dared to order him around. Calling him a crazy bastard, the captor charged, only to be met by Namgung's swift 13 lightning strikes of the flash. With a blinding flash of lightning, Namgung's attack struck true, sending the arrogant captor sprawling to the ground. Namgung, observing the defeated foe, mused that the dirty ways of unorthodox sects never truly changed, regardless of time. The rescued man, now free from his cage, gratefully stammered his thanks as Namgung inquired about his well-being. The defeated captor lay motionless on the bridge, a grim testament to Namgung's decisive intervention. Hyo-il, having caught up, offered his sincere thanks to Namgung for his swift and effective intervention. Hyo-il, observing Namgung's calm sword momentum, realized it was no wonder the enemies were startled by his decisive actions. Hyo-il further noted that Namgung accurately assessed his opponent's martial arts level before acting, a sign of true skill. And, Hyo-il continued to ponder, there was something else remarkable about Namgung's performance. Hyo-il concluded that Namgung's experienced skill level was truly unbefitting of a mere rookie. Namgung, sheathing his sword, calmly stated that he would have a lot to report back to the Blue Sky Society. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the Bei clan gang's stronghold, a lone guard stood watch, unaware of the impending arrival. Suddenly startled, the guard nervously demanded to know who dared to approach the Bei clan gang's gates. Namgung's sword crackled with blue lightning, poised for a swift and decisive strike. With a flash, Namgung struck the guard, sending him flying through the air with a powerful lightning-infused blow. Inside, members of the Bei clan gang casually discussed a crazy bastard whose unpaid toll had accumulated to 3 times the original principal. 2 gang members, one a man and the other a woman, casually discussed how they profited from capturing civilians and selling them to Sango for even more money. Suddenly, a powerful force erupted, sending several gang members flying and shattering the building around them. Namgung, cloaked in blue energy and a bamboo hat, appeared, declaring that they had been siphoning the lifeblood of civilians to line their own pockets. Inside, more gang members reacted in shock and fear, demanding to know the identity of the mysterious intruder. One of the terrified gang members recognized Namgung's distinctive attire, exclaiming that he was from the Blue Sky Society. Surrounded by armed thugs in a courtyard, Namgung faced their collective charge as they foolishly believed they could overwhelm him. With a swift motion, Namgung drew his sword, which crackled with blue lightning, unleashing a devastating strike. His lightning attack struck the charging gang members, sending them reeling and collapsing under its immense power. More gang members were flung backward by unseen forces, victims of Namgung's relentless and precise attacks. Namgung stood calmly amidst the fallen foes and cracked ground, dismissively remarking on their sloppy fighting. He effortlessly deflected a flurry of incoming sword attacks, his glowing blade a blur against the onslaught. As his assault continued, more gang members were sent tumbling through the air, defeated by his superior martial arts. Two muscular gang members charged forward, one angrily shouting at Namgung, calling him an arrogant brat. Namgung swiftly dodged their combined attacks, moving with incredible speed that blurred his form. One of the charging gang members looked utterly shocked as an invisible force struck him down. Leaping into the air, Namgung descended with a powerful strike, surprising the remaining gang members below. His sword moved with deadly precision, leaving trails of dark energy and blood as he cut through his opponents. A gang member screamed in agony, clutching his severed hand, as Namgung's foot was seen near the fallen limb. Namgung stood alone in the blood-soaked courtyard, surrounded by defeated and terrified gang members who whispered, "A monster." Two remaining gang members, visibly shaken, nervously commanded their comrades to stand back. The gang leader, visibly annoyed, declared he would handle the brat himself. Sounds of swift, powerful strikes echoed as more gang members were violently dispatched. Namgung continued his relentless assault, leaving a trail of blood and defeated foes. Inside, the gang leader chuckled, mocking Namgung as a junior bossing around his senior, while terrified civilians watched. Meanwhile, Namgung, in his current form, casually inquired about Senior Hoil's tracking arts, which Hoil humbly dismissed as minor tricks. Namgung then instructed Hoil to find and rescue the civilians while he drew the enemy's attention, prompting Hoil to express concern for his safety. Namgung firmly reiterated that the safety of the civilians was the absolute top priority. Hoil, walking away, reflected on Namgung's character, noting his skills and virtues despite his unconventional entry into the society. Hoil stepped over a defeated gang member, further confirming Namgung's capabilities and moral standing. Hoil reassured the rescued civilians that the Blue Sky Society was now here, and they no longer needed to worry. With a gentle smile, Hoil suggested they all get some fresh air, leading the civilians to safety. Back at the fight, two remaining gang members watched in disbelief, realizing their gang leader was being pushed back. Namgung and the gang leader engaged in an intense clash, with Namgung's power clearly overwhelming his opponent. The gang leader, enraged, questioned how a mere kid could possess such formidable sword chi. Namgung's aura intensified, manifesting as a demonic spirit, making the gang leader wonder if he was facing a sword demon. Desperate, the gang leader tried to leverage the captured civilians, threatening to kill them if Namgung didn't surrender. Namgung responded to the threat with a chilling smirk, completely unfazed. He then revealed his foresight, explaining he knew the gang leader would use the civilians, which is precisely why he was alone. The gang leader, realizing his bluff had been called, desperately tried to negotiate with the young hero. Ignoring the plea, Namgung swiftly leaped into the air, preparing for a decisive final strike. Namgung's powerful strike sent the gang leader crashing to the ground, blood splattering. The injured gang leader roared in fury, cursing Namgung's name. Namgung observed his foe, realizing it was far too late for the gang leader to react or draw his weapon. With a surge of blue energy, Namgung prepared for the next exchange. A brilliant blue explosion erupted, deflecting the incoming force. An elderly man appeared, astonished that a mere youth had blocked his powerful double palms. The old man, with a stern gaze, demanded to know Namgung's identity. He strode past the defeated gang leader, noting the fresh cloud rank on Namgung's sleeve. The old man clicked his tongue, complaining that Namgung had completely ruined his retirement business. He grumbled about the fool who died like a dog, messing up his carefully laid plans. Namgung pondered the retirement business, suspecting a larger scheme beyond simple money lending. He then turned his attention to the old man, addressing him directly. Gripping his sword, Namgung Jun stated his desire to learn more about the old man's dealings. Namgung Jun, ready for a fight, suggested the old man postpone his retirement until after their conversation. Enraged, the old man called Namgung Jun an arrogant brat with a glib tongue, his hands igniting with fiery energy. He lunged forward with a swift, powerful kick. Namgung Jun braced himself, his hands glowing with defensive energy. Their powers collided in a violent burst, sending debris flying everywhere. Namgung Jun's eyes widened in surprise, recognizing something unexpected. The old man seized Namgung Jun's arm, pulling him closer. Elder Sang continued to drain Namgung Jun's energy, confirming his suspicions with a sinister grin. Standing over a weakened Namgung Jun, Elder Sang revealed his technique as the nefarious heavenly absorption art. Namgung Jun, despite his struggle, provocatively questioned Elder Sang's trashy cultivation methods, infuriating the old man. Enraged, Elder Sang lunged again, desperately trying to absorb more of Namgung Jun's vital energy. Elder Sang's eye glowed with avarice, dreaming of reaching the peak realm by consuming Namgung Jun's burning yang energy. The old man persisted in his assault, sneering at Namgung Jun as a little rat, while attempting to complete his absorption. Namgung Jun deftly evaded the attack, asking if Elder Sang had allied the Bei clan gang with the demonic cult for such trivial tricks. Elder Sang, no longer hiding his true colors, brazenly confirmed his allegiance, declaring there was no point in further concealment. With a terrifying grin, Elder Sang vowed to completely devour every last bit of Namgung Jun's internal energy. Namgung Jun, his expression firm, calmly stated he had heard everything he needed to hear, catching Elder Sang off guard. Suddenly, Namgung Jun unleashed a powerful counterstrike, eliciting a pained scream from Elder Sang. The force of Namgung Jun's blow sent Elder Sang hurtling backward through the air. Elder Sang crashed violently onto the ground, his body twisting from the impact. Groaning in agony, Elder Sang lay defeated on the ground, struggling to move. Elder Sang's body bounced and hit the ground once more, creating a small impact crater. Defeated and surrounded by dark energy, Elder Sang desperately pleaded for mercy, realizing his technique had failed. Namgung Jun delivered a final, decisive blow, unleashing a potent burst of blue lightning upon Elder Sang. Standing over the vanquished Elder Sang, Namgung Jun observed his bloodied hand, a thoughtful escaping his lips. Heoil arrived on the scene, calling out to Namgung Jun and inquiring about the chaos. Other Blue Sky Society members joined Heoil, surprised the battle was already over and commenting on the mess Namgung Jun had made. Heoil and other Blue Sky Society members identified the defeated Elder Sang, with Heoil asking if Namgung Jun knew the piece of trash. Heoil mused on Namgung Jun's rapid ascent, noting the Bei clan gang leader and now Elder Sang had fallen to him. Heoil pondered if any rookie had ever achieved such merit on their first mission, questioning just who Namgung Jun truly was. Namgung Jun calmly presented a ledger he had found on Elder Sang's person. Heoil, taking the book, realized it was a ledger, his expression turning serious. A young boy timidly approached Namgung Jun, calling out, "Excuse me." The boy desperately told Namgung Jun he couldn't find his sister, while Namgung Jun corrected the boy's address, stating he was a big brother. A woman explained that before Namgung Jun arrived, several children were taken from the cells, begging him to find them too. The boy continued to plead, as Heoil confirmed the ledger was a list of children sold to the Sun Moon demonic cult, vowing to track them down. Heoil abruptly told Namgung Jun his mission ended here and he should head back, as support would be requested from the society. Heoil revealed he had received orders to exclude Namgung Jun from any missions involving the Sun Moon demonic cult. Heoil reiterated his command for Namgung Jun to return for now, turning his back. Namgung Jun clenched his fist, realizing the Sun Moon demonic cult was at the heart of this exclusion. Namgung Jun, his face burning with resolve, understood they were holding him back until the very end. Heoil, walking away, firmly declared it was too dangerous for a new recruit and ordered Namgung Jun to go back. Namgung Jun defiantly countered, questioning if he was just an ordinary recruit, as Heoil called out, "Young hero." Heoil, with a stern expression, stated he was not making a suggestion and commanded Namgung Jun to step back. Namgung Jun continued to walk forward, contemplating the meaning of turning away due to one's ability or the situation. Namgung Jun angrily questioned how they could tell him to turn away when his sword was already drawn, asking if that truly upheld righteousness and chivalry. Heoil, observing Namgung Jun's unwavering resolve, concluded that he was indeed an interesting junior. Heoil agreed to move together but requested reinforcements, while Namgung Jun worried about the delay in tracking their targets. Heoil confidently revealed his epithet, the sure-finding sword, meant he always found his target. Heo demonstrated his incredible speed and tracking ability, moving swiftly through the dense forest. Heo pointed out the distinct footprints on the ground, indicating the precise direction of their pursuit. Heo identified the footprints as the Sun-Moon demonic cult's Jade Demon steps, confident they would catch up soon. Heo continued his rapid pursuit, showcasing his flawless lightness technique as he moved. Namgung observed Senior Heo's astonishing tracking arts, noting he missed no faint trace even at a steady pace. Namgung wondered if Heo had inherited someone's true teachings, deeply impressed by his skill. Namgung also realized why Heo had tried to send him back, understanding the mission's inherent difficulty. Namgung struggled to keep up, despite his rigorous training within the Blue Sky Society. Namgung admitted his stamina was severely lacking, barely able to maintain Heo's pace. Heo announced they had finally caught the tail of their targets, having successfully tracked them down. Heo pointed out two carriages getting closer, noting their plan to board a boat at the Yangtze River ahead. Namgung urged Heo to hurry, understanding the critical urgency of their pursuit. Heo explained that once the targets boarded the boat, they could not be followed, making further delays unacceptable. Namgung realized Heo had been slowing down for him and offered to buy time so he could catch up. Heo instructed Namgung to save enough strength to fight effectively upon his arrival. Namgung resolved to definitely attain mastery of the body protection scripture after returning from this mission. An impatient guard in a carriage expressed boredom, wondering when they would reach the river, as another carriage was spotted. A guard, having caught up, offered a sip to a comrade, noting about 10 other guards present. Heo, needing to stall for time until Namgung's arrival, prepared his hidden weapons with a determined gaze. With a swift strike, Heo's hidden weapon found its mark, eliciting a pained cry from a surprised guard. As one guard fell, others drew their swords, realizing they faced an enemy using hidden weapons and quickly moved to protect the carriages. Heo unleashed a flurry of sharp hidden weapons, showering the area with deadly projectiles. One guard reeled from a headshot, while another skillfully parried a hidden weapon with his sword. The quick-thinking guard leader wondered why Heo kept his distance, then a realization dawned on him. Declaring Heo a lone threat, the guard leader ordered his men to prioritize the transport and move the carriages immediately. Heo observed the carriages being moved, acknowledging his opponents were surprisingly quick on the uptake. With his initial strategy compromised, Heo resignedly concluded he had no choice but to draw his sword. Heo erupted into motion, drawing his blade with a fierce resolve and charging into the fray. With a powerful slash, Heo cut down a guard, leaving a dark, swirling trail in his wake. From inside a carriage, a small, desperate hand reached out, pleading for help amidst the chaos. A crying child, bound and terrified, begged for salvation from within the confines of the carriage. Hearing the children's pleas, Heo's expression hardened, his determination renewed as a carriage sped away. Heo launched a powerful kick from the ground, sending a surprised guard flying through the air. His kick connected with brutal force, knocking the guard off his feet and sending him spiraling. Heo unleashed a devastating martial arts technique, tearing through the ground with a powerful shockwave. Heo, slightly shaken, admitted the opponent's kicking techniques were no joke, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. Heo stood ready, facing the confident guard leader who now approached him. The guard leader smirked, taunting Heo about his apparent fear, quite a sight indeed. Heo, unfazed by the guard leader's taunt, simply questioned if fear was even a concept worth considering. The scarred guard leader, bewildered, questioned Heo's audacity to drink amidst such a tense situation. Heo coolly retorted that he feared only one person, and it was certainly not his current adversary. Suddenly, a swift strike sent Heo reeling, his hat flying off in the unexpected impact. The scarred guard leader, eyes wide, realized his adversary's movements had changed dramatically. He stared intently, confirming his suspicion that Heo's fighting style had indeed transformed. The two combatants clashed in a blur of motion, their fierce exchange creating a blinding flash of energy. Blows rained down in a rapid succession of parries and strikes, each impact echoing through the forest. With a powerful stomp, the scarred guard leader asserted his dominance, cracking the very earth beneath his foot. Heo grunted, feeling the immense force of the scarred guard leader's relentless assault pushing him back. A brutal strike sent Heo tumbling backward, his defenses overwhelmed by the relentless onslaught. Stunned, Heo realized he was being pushed back and questioned if his opponent was a demonic cult officer. The narration explained that only a demonic cult officer, a master of either Yin or Yang essence demonic art, could possess such formidable power. Meanwhile, several shadowy figures moved with unsettling speed through the forest, converging on the ongoing battle. The Scarred Guard leader taunted Heo-il, mocking his agile dodging as scurrying around like a rat. Heo-il internally acknowledged that facing a demonic cult officer required 3 clouds, mastery, making it too dangerous for the young hero Namgung. Realizing this was his only chance, Heo-il, with renewed resolve, declared he had to do something immediately. With a burst of speed, Heo-il unleashed a glowing sword strike, aiming directly at his opponent. Heo-il gasped in dismay as his attack was effortlessly blocked, while the Scarred Guard leader smirked, deeming it too bad. The Scarred Guard leader's seemingly simple block was a feint, allowing him to brutally strike Heo-il, who questioned the deception. The Scarred Guard leader delivered a brutal strike, sending Heo-il sprawling to the ground. Heo-il grunted in pain, realizing he was utterly outmatched in internal energy. Yet, with a fierce determination, Heo-il pushed himself back up, ready to continue the fight. Heo-il lay bleeding on the ground, as villagers cried out, fearing for his life. Despite his severe injuries, Heo-il defiantly smirked, questioning if that was all his opponent had. The Scarred Guard leader, enraged, declared that the Blue Sky Society always interfered and vowed to make Heo-il suffer. Heo-il gripped his sword tightly, an internal question echoing if there was truly nowhere left to run. The Scarred Guard leader stood over the defeated Heo-il, who sat amidst cracked earth from the impact. Suddenly, the Scarred Guard leader turned and began to walk away, seemingly victorious. To his shock, the Scarred Guard leader found himself on the ground, internally questioning what had just happened. Namgung stood over the fallen Scarred Guard leader, calmly addressing the injured Heo-il. The new arrival, Namgung, stepped forward, sword in hand, politely asking if he could intervene. Heo-il, bandaged and relieved, thought that he felt a sense of calm rather than worry about Namgung's presence. Heo-il smiled, entrusting the fight to Namgung and acknowledging him as no ordinary recruit. The Scarred Guard leader, now back on his feet, questioned if Namgung had arrived as reinforcements. The Scarred Guard leader stared intently, realizing Namgung hadn't even reached 20 years of age. He then wondered how the sharp aura emanating from Namgung's entire body could be so intense. The Scarred Guard leader scoffed, dismissing Namgung as a mere one-cloud brat and declaring their efforts futile. Namgung, unfazed, coolly retorted that his opponent certainly knew how to bluff. With a powerful high kick, the Scarred Guard leader declared Namgung was still just a brat. Namgung blocked a powerful kick, internally acknowledging his cultivation level put him at a disadvantage. He then prepared his stance, recalling that third-rate to first-rate training focused on forms and internal energy circulation. The peak realm, however, allowed internal energy to manifest externally, as a glowing sword demonstrated. This external manifestation significantly increased the internal energy's strength and power, Namgung mused. The Scarred Guard leader scoffed, questioning what a mere one cloud like Namgung could possibly do. Namgung swiftly dodged another attack, as the Scarred Guard leader continued to mock his capabilities. Suddenly, the Scarred Guard leader's leg pulsed with lightning, leaving him utterly surprised. Namgung moved with incredible speed, a blur of motion across the battlefield. He then thought that sword chi and palm force were ultimately nothing more than parts of martial arts. Namgung and the Scarred Guard leader exchanged a flurry of rapid, powerful blows. Namgung struck downwards, prompting the Scarred Guard leader to angrily call him a persistent pest. Namgung moved with his sword drawn, preparing his next swift attack. The Scarred Guard leader unleashed a fierce kick, yelling at Namgung to just die already. Namgung's eyes narrowed, confidently retorting that with a sword in his hand, he could do anything. He then unleashed a powerful lightning strike, directly hitting the Scarred Guard leader. The Scarred Guard leader stumbled back, blood gushing from his nose and mouth, shocked at how a mere one cloud could do that. Namgung stood firm, holding his sword, as the Scarred Guard leader internally questioned his skill. Later, Heo-il, walking with Namgung, acknowledged his efforts, saying he worked hard. Heo-il dismissed his own injuries, instead expressing concern for Senior Namgung's wounds. Namgung, looking concerned, felt Senior Heo's injuries were due to his own shortcomings, vowing to train harder. Heo-il playfully dismissed their recent mission's dangers, telling Namgung not to worry too much. Heo-il continued, stating they had saved the children and retrieved the ledger, making it a successful first mission. Heo-il then smiled, repeating the word successful with a questioning tone. Internally, Heo-il recounted Namgung's incredible feats, including single-handedly defeating the Bei clan and rescuing the children. Heo-il further reflected on Namgung's unyielding righteousness and chivalry, which cherished civilians. Moreover, Heo-il mused about Namgung's astonishing sword skill, capable of bridging any gap. Heoil concluded that Namgung Jun's aptitude was far too great to remain tied down at the demonic sect. Consequently, Heoil resolved to put extra effort into writing his report about Namgung Jun. Heoil then informed Namgung Jun that he needed to go to the ink fragrance pavilion for the report and instructed him to head back first. As Namgung Jun walked away, he suddenly stopped when his name was called. Namgung Jun turned, sensing an incredible pressure, as a large figure approached him. The imposing man introduced himself as Kong Gok, the hall master of the sect-crushing hall, telling Namgung Jun there was no need to be tense. Namgung Jun internally recognized the name, the sect-crushing hall. Namgung Jun respectfully bowed, greeting the hall master of the sect-crushing hall. Namgung Jun internally recalled the sect-crushing hall's overwhelming destructive power, which crushed enemy lines in large-scale pitched battles. He further mused that the sect-crushing hall was always at the vanguard. A flashback showed Kong Gok in action, demonstrating his formidable power. Namgung Jun's thoughts continued, describing Kong Gok, the head of the sect-crushing hall, as a formidable master. The image of Kong Gok wielding a blood-stained axe underscored his terrifying power. Kong Gok stepped forward, beginning to speak about Namgung Jun's first mission. Kong Gok, the hall master of the sect-crushing hall, confronted Namgung Jun, revealing he knew about his encounter with the Sun and Moon demonic cult. Namgung Jun felt the immense, overwhelming pressure from Kong Gok's presence and confirmed the encounter. Kong Gok then pressed on, asking if Namgung Jun understood why the Sun and Moon demonic cult targeted males with 9 severed meridians. Namgung Jun internally recognized Kong Gok's deliberate attempt to suppress him, confirming his knowledge of the cult's bizarre dark arts and grand rituals. He recalled from his past life that the cult used a grand ritual to create a genderless body, realizing they must be targeting him for a similar reason. Namgung Jun deduced that his body was uniquely perfect for handling the energies of both yin and yang simultaneously. Kong Gok challenged Namgung Jun, questioning if he shouldn't simply remain quietly at the Azure Sky faction for his own sake and the world's good. Namgung Jun internally mused that the relentless pursuit would indeed end easily if he were to die. However, Namgung Jun then declared that his master had granted him a new life, a life dedicated to the chivalry flowing through martial arts. Kong Gok, enraged, scoffed at Namgung Jun, asking if a mere bit of talent meant he could become a master who ruled the world. With the spectral shadows of his past disciples behind him, Namgung Jun firmly stated he could never think that way, for his sword was straight and would remain so. Kong Gok intently observed Namgung Jun, pondering if this was merely the petty passion of a gifted child. Kong Gok then dramatically declared that Namgung Jun would be relentlessly targeted by the Sun and Moon demonic cult until his dying day, challenging him to endure it. With a powerful surge of energy, Kong Gok commanded Namgung Jun to show me. Kong Gok, now airborne, loudly challenged Namgung Jun to show me your sword, as Namgung Jun drew his blade. Namgung Jun expertly blocked Kong Gok's initial attack with his sword, prompting Kong Gok to observe the young man. Kong Gok noted that Namgung Jun was unafraid of his energy, looking straight at his movement pattern and blocking it precisely. Kong Gok, wielding his massive axe, then questioned if he should test Namgung Jun further, before shouting, "Hap!" Namgung Jun skillfully parried Kong Gok's rapid strikes, astonishing the hall master that someone not at the peak realm could perfectly read his movements. Namgung Jun realized that simply blocking the next attack would inevitably cause his sword to break. Namgung Jun, crouching low, knew he must unleash the Great Gale's sword technique from his past life. With a determined gaze, he prepared his stance, ready to execute the powerful technique. He aimed to redirect the immense force using the profound principle of silk reeling force, swinging his blade with fierce resolve. Their swords clashed in a blinding explosion of energy, sending shockwaves across the courtyard. The sheer impact created deep cracks in the stone ground and stirred up a powerful gust of wind. Ugh! Namgung Jun gritted his teeth, feeling the overwhelming force push him back. What incredible internal energy, he thought, struggling to maintain his grip on the sword. The ground continued to fracture and crumble under the immense pressure of their ongoing struggle. A massive fissure split the earth, separating Namgung Jun and Kong Gok after their explosive collision. Kong Gok observed Namgung Jun, muttering that this made no sense, as he had clearly been pushed back, pondering the consistent path. He recalled a past memory, bound and submerged, clinging to an unchanging, steadfast heart. He remembered his resolve to save people and do what was right, even amidst suffering. Namgung Jun, sweating with effort, sought to imbue his very chivalry into that sword strike. Kong Gok, axe in hand, cynically remarked that most people start with righteousness and chivalry, only to give up in the end. Even so, Namgung Jun declared, his comrades from the Azure Sky faction would be with him, so why should he worry? Kong Gok smiled, acknowledging that at such a young age, Namgung Jun had already found his own path of martial arts. Namgung Jun stood firm, stating he would respect Kong Gok's decision and that of the Heavenly Sword Hall Master. Suddenly, Kong Gok transmitted a swift burst of internal energy directly into Namgung Jun. Namgung Jun felt the powerful, swift internal energy transmission course through him, looking surprised. As expected, he thought, of a master who has achieved 3 flowers gathering at the peak. Kong Gok, with a knowing smirk, declared it ridiculous to gossip about the path of a young swordsman. He then swiftly offered something to Namgung Jun, extending his hand with a quick flick. Namgung Jun caught the small object, looking surprised as he questioned, "What is this?" Kong Gok explained it was an elixir, perfect for healing any internal injuries from blocking his strike. Namgung Jun internally noted he hadn't suffered any internal injuries, while Kong Gok smiled knowingly. He then wondered if Kong Gok merely needed an excuse to give him an elixir. Namgung Jun bowed respectfully, expressing his gratitude to Kong Gok. Meanwhile, Yun Kyungjong, seated at his desk, pondered if he should have given Namgung Jun an elixir too. He discussed with another elder that while officials opposed Namgung Jun's entry, keeping him hidden would be a waste. Yun Kyungjong stroked his beard, a satisfied expression confirming his thoughts. He then smiled, acknowledging that Namgung Jun truly didn't disappoint. The report of Namgung Jun's exploits lay before him, Hoil exaggerated, but never lied. News of Namgung Jun's achievements quickly spread, with whispers questioning if he was truly in the first-rate realm. A swordsman sat contemplating, marveling that Namgung Jun's talent defied his age. A flashback showed Namgung Jun fighting, with the thought that his success was inevitable, having held a sword for less than a month. The swordsman then commanded his gossiping disciples to stop and swing their swords, to which they promptly agreed. Later, Namgung Jun meditated, glowing with energy, and exhaled a relieved "phew." He thought that through constant meditation, he had reduced the frequency and intensity of his seizures, but the 9 severed meridians still took a heavy toll on his body, as he revealed his torso. He realized his past life standard external training was no longer enough, he needed a new method for his current body. A figure in traditional robes simply invited, "You may enter." Lee Se-ha, holding a stack of books, questioned if he had finished his meditation and breathing. Namgung Jun thanked her for standing Dharma guarding, prompting Lee Se-ha to playfully offer to carry him on her back. Namgung Jun asked about the books, and Lee Se-ha explained they were from the self-reflection armory, thinking they would be useful. She continued, noting he had correctly identified her condition and its issues, stressing the importance of understanding one's own body. Lee Se-ha smiled, revealing she read them all while he was away and would teach him everything. Namgung Jun respectfully expressed his gratitude to his master. Even so, Lee Se-ha, holding her sword, reminded him that their top priority should be the sword. Namgung Jun enthusiastically agreed, suggesting they head to the training grounds immediately. At the training grounds, Lee Se-ha instructed him to demonstrate his 13 lightning strikes of the flash. Namgung Jun prepared his strike, thinking about his self-created 13 lightning strikes of the flash sword technique. He engaged his master, believing that clashing swords would help him unlock its deeper profound principle. Their swords clashed with a sharp sound as Lee Se-ha moved with swift precision. Namgung Jun observed his master's sword line, noting how it traced elegant curves. He realized that her seemingly slow, deliberate strikes blocked his every move and completely dominated the surrounding space. The intense sparring continued, with their blades meeting in a flurry of rapid strikes. Namgung Jun concluded that her technique perfectly embodied the essence of the blunt sword. Lightning crackled around them as their fierce sword exchange intensified. Namgung Jun unleashed a powerful, lightning-infused strike. He then wondered how well the Heavenly Thunder True Yang art would synergize with the blunt sword technique. The profound principle of the blunt sword technique controlled the flow, as Lee Se-ha moved with swift precision. Namgung Jun realized the soft sword technique seamlessly connected the start and end of each strike. With just a slight flick of her wrist, Lee Se-ha's blade moved with incredible control. Her technique completely shut down Namgung Jun's entire sword path. Namgung Jun internally acknowledged that she truly was the Hall Master of the Heavenly Sword Hall. After the intense sparring, Namgung Jun respectfully bowed and thanked his master for the lesson. He then eagerly asked Master Lee Se-ha for the name of that formidable sword technique. Lee Se-ha revealed the technique was called the Distant Cloud Layered Wall Stance. This powerful technique was documented within the vast self-reflection armory. It was classified for those who had achieved the 4 clouds rank to learn and master. Namgung Jun, with fierce determination, clenched his fist, declaring he must make it his own. He then boldly asked his master if he could try performing the technique right away. Other disciples gathered, surprised by the sudden martial duel between the youngest and the Hall Master. More onlookers arrived, eager not to miss such a rare and valuable sight. Swords were drawn, signaling the commencement of the unexpected challenge. Namgung Jun took his stance, preparing to demonstrate his newfound understanding. Lee Se-ha wondered if he was trying to imitate her distant cloud-layered wall stance without the manual. Namgung Jun exploded forward, unleashing his sword with fierce intent. Lightning crackled around him as he performed a powerful, energy-infused strike. Lee Se-ha observed, realizing his slow technique deflected force in all directions, embodying the soft sword. Lee Se-ha performed the formidable distant cloud-layered wall stance with elegant precision. Her powerful sword strike resonated with a sharp clang, effortlessly deflecting incoming energy. Namgung Jun, observing her, instantly grasped the technique with his exceptional wit and aptitude. Lee Se-ha continued to perfectly embody the essential principles of the distant cloud-layered wall stance. Their sparring intensified, with both master and disciple moving in a blur of focused combat. Swords clashed with a resounding impact, creating a shower of sparks and concentrated energy. Through their continuous clashing of swords, Namgung Jun deepened his understanding of the martial art. Namgung Jun smiled, realizing his master was helping him achieve a profound self-realization. He internally acknowledged that Lee Se-ha truly was a good master, guiding him through combat. Other disciples watched, astonished that he could clash swords so fiercely with the Hall Master. They noted that while Namgung Jun's grit and focus were excellent, his body was showing strain. His body, burdened by the 9 severed meridians, had clearly reached its physical limit. Namgung Jun, panting, decided that the intense sparring session was enough for now. Lee Se-ha declared it a good martial duel, urging Namgung Jun to remember it well. As Lee Se-ha turned to leave, Namgung Jun respectfully called out to his master. He then boldly requested that she show him her true specialty, the fast sword technique. Namgung Jun, still unsatisfied, declared he must master the fast sword technique as well. Lee Se-ha approached, acknowledging that the fast sword was indeed her true specialty technique. She paused, considering his audacious request with a thoughtful expression. Lee Se-ha then confidently agreed, stating he must experience this martial art as her disciple. Namgung Jun's eye blazed with fierce determination, declaring his readiness for the next challenge. He lunged forward with his blade, a blur of motion against the vibrant, swirling energy. Lee Se-ha met his advance with a powerful parry, her lightning energy now incredibly sharp. Namgung Jun found himself overwhelmed by her speed, which was on a completely different level. His sword hand throbbed from the relentless impact, feeling as if it were about to burst. Lee Se-ha, glowing with power, revealed this was the sword technique she would have taught him first. She unleashed the formidable Heavenly Thunder True Yang sword technique, leaving onlookers stunned by its incredible speed. The powerful clash erupted in a blinding explosion of energy, momentarily obscuring everything. Namgung Jun reflected on the splendid display, realizing he could surpass his past life with such a master. Gripping his sword, he saw the path forward perfectly clear, thanks to her guidance. He bowed respectfully, expressing his profound gratitude for all he had learned from his master. Yet, his body was reaching its limit, prompting him to question if standard external arts training was truly enough. Senior Gong Junam approached, calling out Namgung Jun's name with a concerned expression. Gong Junam noted Namgung Jun's exceptional progress but highlighted his urgent need to improve external arts. Namgung Jun's hands trembled, confirming his immediate need to find a new external training method. Gong Junam then suggested a visit to the renowned Iron Tower Hall for his physical development. Intrigued, Namgung Jun inquired about the nature and purpose of the Iron Tower Hall. Gong Junam began to explain, promising Namgung Jun would understand once he arrived there. He revealed the Iron Tower Hall was where the most muscle-obsessed men gathered for external arts training. Indeed, every single member possessed an incredible level of external arts, as evidenced by their intense training. Namgung Jun pondered if they focused on individual training rather than group sessions. The Iron Tower Hall was known for possessing the strongest external arts among the top 3 halls. Namgung Jun paused, hearing his name called, as he considered the Heavenly Sword Hall's future. The Iron Tower Hall Master, a towering figure, questioned Namgung Jun's presence. Namgung Jun, looking up, asked if the powerful man knew who he was. The Hall Master erupted in laughter, recognizing Namgung Jun as the society's most famous rookie. Other disciples whispered, identifying Namgung Jun as the one who defeated a bright cult guard. Namgung Jun then turned the question back, asking if the Hall Master knew him. The imposing Hall Master looked down, awaiting Namgung Jun's answer. Namgung Jun bowed respectfully, greeting the Iron Tower Hall Master, who chuckled in satisfaction. Namgung Jun recalled the Hall Master refereed his martial duel and asked about the He Shou Wu elixir. The Hall Master confirmed the elixir's power, then touched Namgung Jun, sensing his poor physical state. He remarked that Namgung Jun looked smaller than others his age. The Whole Master wondered how Namgung Jun performed such swordsmanship with his body. Namgung Jun revealed his purpose, seeking guidance on the external training method. The Whole Master inquired if Namgung Jun had observed his whole members on the way in. Namgung Jun, seeing the muscular disciples, now understood the Iron Tower Hall's reputation for external arts. The Whole Master noted Namgung Jun's natural talent but emphasized the true demands of external arts. He explained that external arts were built solely on grit, effort, and sweat, not just talent. He recounted how countless disciples had fled their rigorous training, unable to endure it. The towering Hall Master questioned if Namgung Jun could keep up with their rigorous training. He continued, emphasizing that true strength came only from unwavering dedication, not an easy path. Namgung Jun, resolute, vowed to endure any harsh training that promised strength, seeing it through to the very end. With a commanding presence, the Hall Master ordered Namgung Jun to step up and begin. Flexing his powerful back, the Hall Master declared his intention to test Namgung Jun's grit. Namgung Jun removed his outer robe, revealing his lean, yet surprisingly defined, upper body. The Hall Master observed Namgung Jun's physique, noting its terrible state and wondering about his past sword power. He then insisted Namgung Jun learn his unique external training method, prompting Namgung Jun to ask about exclusive martial arts. The Hall Master flexed, clarifying it was nothing as grand as exclusive martial arts. He explained the human body's complexity, stating it defied simple mnemonic formulas. He warned that common misunderstandings often led to severe injuries, illustrating with fallen disciples. The Hall Master stressed that direct, hands-on instruction was crucial, as even his disciples hadn't mastered advanced levels. Namgung Jun looked on intently as the Hall Master challenged him to show his abilities. The Hall Master roared for Namgung Jun to show his resolve, who then attacked with heavy steps on crushing rock. The Hall Master prepared his counter, unleashing the formidable Iron Fist of the Heavens. He then struck with the second form, rock-shattering center pierce, a devastating blow. Namgung Jun's eyes widened, realizing a direct block would shatter his sword. Swiftly, Namgung Jun parried the powerful attack with his blade. The Hall Master's fist connected with Namgung Jun's parrying sword in a thunderous clash. Namgung Jun felt a jarring impact, as if blocking a steel mace rather than a mere fist. Namgung Jun realized the Hall Master had used the distant cloud-layered wall stance. The Hall Master, finding the fight highly entertaining, declared it simply delicious. Namgung Jun internally noted the Hall Master wasn't even giving him a moment to catch his breath. Another powerful blow from the Hall Master connected, forcing Namgung Jun to absorb the impact. Namgung Jun was sent tumbling through the air, struggling to regain his footing. Namgung Jun realized his sword would have shattered without the distant cloud-layered wall stance, concluding a hard block wouldn't work. Sweating profusely, Namgung Jun determined he couldn't leave any openings and had to counterattack immediately. Namgung Jun channeled lightning energy into his sword, preparing for a swift counter. The Hall Master's disciples watched, their expressions a mix of awe and surprise. Namgung Jun considered the Hall Master's terrifying external arts. He wondered if the Hall Master had even mastered a body protection art, as the Hall Master grinned, flexing. Namgung Jun, battered and sweating, concluded the Hall Master was a total monster. The Hall Master praised Namgung Jun's sword and mockingly asked if he was done already. The Hall Master declared they were going to keep doing this, challenging Namgung Jun further. Namgung Jun, gritting his teeth, realized the Hall Master was saying they had only just begun. The Hall Master continued his relentless assault, striking repeatedly with powerful blows. The watching disciples questioned if the two had already gone over 50 exchanges. Namgung Jun, exhausted, wondered if anyone else in their hall could hold out this long, acknowledging his incredible willpower. The Hall Master, flexing his powerful arms, declared it was time to wrap this up. He unleashed the formidable Iron Fist of the Heavens, striking the ground with immense force. The Hall Master's Iron Fist of the Heavens struck the ground, sending a shockwave of rocks flying. His powerful fist, glowing with energy, unleashed the sixth form, shattering surging waves. Namgung Jun braced himself with his sword as the immense impact waves crashed into him. Bloodied and panting, Namgung Jun internally worried his stamina was gone, knowing a direct hit would finish him. His determined, bloodied face showed the struggle, yet his eyes held an unyielding resolve. The Hall Master's powerful, glowing fist continued its relentless assault, unleashing another wave of energy. Namgung Jun once again braced with his sword, absorbing the brutal force of the surging waves. Looking down, Namgung Jun's inner voice echoed, "Not yet." His eyes glowed blue with renewed determination, declaring, "It's too early to fall." Namgung Jun, now wreathed in blue energy, swiftly deflected multiple powerful attacks with his sword. With a burst of energy, Namgung Jun delivered a powerful, glowing punch. Namgung Jun and the Hall Master clashed in a fierce exchange, surrounded by swirling energies. Namgung Jun stood exhausted, blood dripping from his hand, yet still gripping his sword as the Hall Master observed. The Hall Master grinned, noticing a scratch on his hand, amused by Namgung Jun's unexpected resilience. "To think he has both talent and grit," the Hall Master thought, then declared, "That's enough. You may rest." Namgung Jun's legs trembled, and his sword began to drop, but his hand stubbornly clung to the hilt. Kneeling and glowing with blue energy, Namgung Jun stood firm, refusing to show any weakness to the Hall Master. The Hall Master's heart burned with excitement, recognizing Namgung Jun as a talent he must foster. After that, Dan Yungsei subjected Namgung Jun to truly brutal external arts training. Dan Yungsei yelled at a groaning, shaking Namgung Jun, demanding he get up for the last rep. Dan Yungsei pushed Namgung Jun's stamina and mental fortitude to their absolute limits, motivating the 7th Hall members to intensify their external arts training even further. Namgung Jun, drenched in sweat and gritting his teeth, pushed through the final, agonizing repetition, declaring his triumph with a ragged breath. Dan Yungsei, with a maniacal grin, immediately commanded Namgung Jun to repeat the entire set 3 more times. Namgung Jun protested, reminding Dan Yungsei that this was supposed to be the last one, only for his master to retort that he could do more if he still had breath to speak. Dan Yungsei proudly introduced his self-designed external arts training bar, explaining how weights could be slid onto its ends to gradually increase the load. He further elaborated that this innovative bar minimized injury risk and pushed one's limits far beyond a regular horse stance. Dan Yungsei instructed Namgung Jun to begin with just the bar, deeming it too early for added weights, to which Namgung Jun respectfully agreed. With a knowing smirk, Dan Yungsei then asked if Namgung Jun was ready for the introduction of the next piece of equipment. Namgung Jun's eyes widened in shock as Dan Yungsei revealed a surprisingly smaller, yet equally formidable, bar. Dan Yungsei, now effortlessly curling a dumbbell, questioned Namgung Jun's struggle with the unweighted bar. Despite the bar's unexpected weight, Namgung Jun, panting heavily, defiantly insisted that he could handle it. As another disciple demonstrated, Dan Yungsei explained that merely moving the weight was not the sole objective of true training. He emphasized the importance of feeling muscle movement, identifying stimulated parts, and visualizing the entire process in one's mind. Namgung Jun, adopting a deep stance, focused intently, understanding that this rigorous exercise was a crucial form of image training. Nearly a month passed since Dan Yungsei began his intensive, one-on-one training, having organized his vast theories into mnemonic formulas and illustrated countless human postures. Namgung Jun, now visibly more muscular and defined, strained intensely as he finally lifted the heavy, weighted bar. His fellow disciples watched in awe, marveling at his incredible grit for reaching such a level in just 1 month. Namgung Jun, wiping sweat from his brow and revealing his sculpted physique, humbly brushed off their compliments. The other members openly admired Namgung Jun, wishing he had joined their Iron Tower Hall and suggesting he still could. Dan Yungsei, however, swiftly cut short their chatter, sternly ordering everyone to stop flapping their gums and return to intense training. Dan Yungsei, observing Namgung Jun's newly sculpted physique, commended his remarkable speed in building muscle. Namgung Jun, still shirtless and sweating, was internally questioned by his master about being a swordsman who wields a sword. Dan Yungsei explained that the physical compositions of a swordsman and a fist practitioner were fundamentally different. He elaborated that his external training strengthened the entire body, but a swordsman utilized specific muscles, making principle understanding paramount. Namgung Jun, flexing his newly acquired muscles, declared his intention to diligently remember his master's valuable advice. A few days later, Dan Yungsei announced a group training session to assess their hard work, instructing them to run 30 laps and clear all obstacles. Dan Yungsei sternly commanded that only physical strength, absolutely no internal energy, was allowed for this external arts completion. Other hall members expressed concern, wondering if Namgung Jun, with only a month of training, could endure the notoriously difficult group session. A senior disciple kindly advised Namgung Jun not to overdo it, assuring him it was acceptable if he couldn't complete the entire course. The intense training began with weighted laps, as Dan Yungsei impatiently urged them to run faster, criticizing their slow pace. During the rope-pulling exercise, Dan Yungsei loudly instructed the struggling disciples to engage their back muscles for leverage. Dan Yungsei continued to push them relentlessly, shouting at the exhausted disciples to hurry up and run faster like snails. Approaching a hall member who had reached his limit, Dan Yungsei insultingly told him to get up, claiming an 80-year-old had more stamina. Dan Yungsei's harsh insults were a deliberate strategy to boost morale and forge a strong sense of camaraderie among the struggling trainees. The disciples learned a powerful bond of overcoming challenges together, encouraging each other with cries of "almost there." Namgung Jun, drenched in sweat, pushed through the arduous rope climb, his determination unwavering despite the visible strain. His fellow disciples on the platform cheered enthusiastically, urging Namgung Jun to keep going and praising his great effort. Namgung Jun continued his strenuous ascent up the wooden ladder, each step a testament to his incredible endurance. Dan Yongse, observing Namgung Jun, was impressed by his willpower, noting it was strong enough to shatter his body's physical growth limits. Upon reaching the top, Namgung Jun collapsed from sheer exhaustion, but his fellow disciples celebrated his successful completion with cheers. Yong'ai offered water to Namgung Jun, who lay on the ground, gripped by a sudden seizure. Yong'ai looked on in alarm, questioning what was happening to Namgung Jun. Namgung Jun thrashed on the ground, urged by a voice to pull himself together. Other disciples gathered, worried by Namgung Jun's continued convulsions. Dan Yongse questioned if it was a seizure from the 9 severed meridians. Dan Yongse fiercely warned Yong'ai not to touch the convulsing Namgung Jun. Dan Yongse prepared himself, exhaling sharply before acting. Dan Yongse unleashed a powerful katsu to subdue Namgung Jun. Namgung Jun lay unconscious, prompting questions about his seizure. Namgung Jun awoke, focusing on calming his breathing in his energy center. Dan Yongse dismissed the disciples, promising to watch over Namgung Jun. Dan Yongse observed Namgung Jun, understanding the seizure's manifestation. Namgung Jun's body trembled, every muscle affected by his condition. Dan Yongse worried about Namgung Jun's life in combat due to these limits. Dan Yongse checked on Namgung Jun, who apologized for the incident. Dan Yongse advised Namgung Jun to consider his condition, as seizures couldn't be suppressed. Dan Yongse offered to help build strength for seizure control, surprising Namgung Jun. Dan Yongse explained it required strict adherence to external training methods. Namgung Jun eagerly accepted, but Dan Yongse told him to rest for now. After that, Namgung Jun diligently practiced external arts by day. Namgung Jun diligently refined his swordsmanship by night. He focused on external arts, keeping his gastrocnemius flexible when striking sideways. He braced his oblique muscles like a solid pillar while maintaining flexibility. Namgung Jun continued his rigorous training, swinging his sword with precision. Lee Se-ha observed Namgung Jun practicing the great extension sword technique without internal energy. Lee Se-ha called out to Namgung Jun, addressing him as master. She praised his training with the Iron Tower Hall master, noting his great attainment. Lee Se-ha mentioned he could take the promotion exam if he had enough merit, prompting Namgung Jun to ask about benefits. She explained promotion granted the right to volunteer for missions and access to higher levels of information. Lee Se-ha suggested more information could help him overcome his 9 severed meridians, which Namgung Jun understood. Namgung Jun resolved to rise high in the hierarchy to face the Sun and Moon demonic cult. He understood that exerting influence through a high rank would be essential in large-scale battles. Lee Se-ha mused about Namgung Jun wielding the Heaven-Reliant sword, catching his attention. She then stated she couldn't just give up the Heaven-Reliant sword. Namgung Jun, surprised, questioned if she had just mentioned the Heaven-Reliant sword. Lee Se-ha noticed his changed eyes, asking if he was interested. She explained the Heaven-Reliant sword was granted to the Sword Lord, head of the Sword Fragrance Department. Namgung Jun recognized the Heaven-Reliant sword as his cherished weapon from his past life. Lee Se-ha asked if he wanted the sword, and he confirmed his desire. She perceived his deeper reason for wanting the sword, looking forward to his pursuit. His master, Lee Se-ha, reminded him that nurturing ambition was a master's duty and suggested they conclude their training, as rest was also a part of it. Namgung Jun agreed, but Lee Se-ha playfully teased him about making girls cry later with his newfound muscles, which he promptly dismissed. Lee Se-ha warned him not to seek her help when the consequences arrived, but Namgung Jun simply stated she worried too much. As dawn broke, Namgung Jun arrived at the grand, traditional building, ready to begin his day. The Ink Master, Yoon Kyung-jong, questioned if Namgung Jun ever slept, noting his diligence, and offered him the option to keep sleeping. Namgung Jun replied he came out for their interesting sword discussions, then received a scroll from Yoon Kyung-jong to focus on today. Namgung Jun expressed his gratitude, and Yoon Kyung-jong offered to clarify anything he didn't understand. Walking through the vast library, Namgung Jun reflected on the various martial arts scriptures, confirming he had already reviewed everything there. He resolved to master all martial arts, unlike his past life's singular focus on the heavy sword, to broaden his horizons. He swore he could not repeat his past mistakes, regretting his inability to teach his disciples more before their tragic end. Amidst the stacks, Namgung Jun's gaze landed on a book titled, Great Gale Sword Technique. He instantly recognized the manual, exclaiming, the Great Gale Sword Technique. He recalled it was one of the primary martial arts of the former Southern Sky Palace, visualizing its practitioners. This technique, he remembered, was based on the profound principle of the heavy sword, a style he often employed as the Sword Emperor. To his surprise, he discovered an annotated edition, designed to make the martial art easier for later generations to learn. Namgung found the interpretation quite interesting, marveling at the fresh perspective on the mnemonic formula as he continued walking. His focus was suddenly broken by a woman's voice asking, "You're Namgung, right?" Namgung turned, looking surprised, and responded with a questioning, "Hm?" The woman, holding a sword, challenged his reputation, stating she heard he was some kind of swordsman. She then abruptly threw a book at him, which he deftly caught. Namgung glared, wondering what she thought she was doing before a sudden "wait" interrupted his thoughts. He instantly recognized the woman's posture, exclaiming that starting stance it's the Great Gale Sword technique. The woman, Man Yi-won, then directly challenged Namgung, demanding, "Duel me." She clarified her challenge, stating, "I can't accept that you're the best among the Azure Sky faction's rising stars." Namgung observed her technique, finding it interesting, but then questioned her rudeness, asking, "Who are you to act so rudely?" Man Yi-won proudly introduced herself as the granddaughter of the head of the Elders' Council, Manhwa Yi-won, confident he knew her name. Namgung reflected on the Elders' Council, acknowledging they have long championed righteousness and survived fierce battles against the sun and moon demonic cult, before concluding, they are a group of retired clouds. He continued, affirming, "As for the head of the Elders' Council, I believe he is a man worthy of respect," to which Man Yi-won agreed, "Indeed." However, Namgung then bluntly stated, "But I've never heard your name before," infuriating Man Yi-won, who exclaimed, "Hey. What? You don't know who I am?" As he walked away, Namgung declared, "Regardless, I have no reason to duel you," prompting Man Yi-won to ask, "Hey. Are you avoiding a martial duel with me?" Man Yi-won, visibly frustrated, then challenged his honor, demanding, "Don't you have any pride?" Namgung calmly retorted, "My pride isn't so fragile that it would be affected by something like this," adding his sword wasn't so cheap that I'd draw it just to satisfy you. He then handed her back the book, dismissing her with an "UGH," and a firm, "Stop wasting your time and leave." As Namgung turned to walk away, Man Yi-won suddenly called out, "Hey, aren't you afflicted with the 9 severed meridians?" Man Yi-won then slyly offered, "I'll give you an extreme yang elixir." Tempting, isn't it? But Namgung simply replied, "I don't need it." Man Yi-won pressed him, asking, Why? Why not?" as Namgung walked away, stating, "I don't need something like that. Because I have." He continued, "My master and the heavenly thunder true yang art." Suddenly, a young man interrupted, shouting, "Wait. Wait, lady man," and questioned her, "Did you just draw a weapon in the library?" Man Yi-won looked utterly flustered, stammering, "No. This is..." Man Yi-won pleaded for her actions to slide, but another woman insisted on reporting her to the Elders' Council head, while Namgung observed. Meanwhile, 2 figures clashed in a training arena, their swords ringing with "Kong" and "Kong" as they sparred. Namgung unleashed a powerful, glowing sword strike, while his opponent also moved with intense energy. His sword wind was heavy and sharp, cutting through the air with a resounding "Kong." Namgung stood ready with his sword, prompting a thought, has he grown stronger again? His sparring partner, Bakery Chong, remarked that Namgung's external arts training was clearly paying off, expressing satisfaction with his progress in the Iron Tower Hall. Namgung humbly bowed, acknowledging that his success was all thanks to the senior's recommendation. Bakery Chong chuckled, calling Namgung an absolute monster, who grew stronger every time he woke up. He playfully nudged another disciple, asking if Namgung wasn't a monster born of both talent and hard work, urging them all to devote themselves to training. Suddenly, a large figure arrived, asking if they were interrupting the training with a heavy, geobeak step. The newcomer was revealed to be Man Hoon, the esteemed head of the Elders' Council. The disciples, including Man Yi-won, respectfully greeted Man Hoon, who warmly replied, "Good to see you." Man Hoon then turned his attention to Namgung, recognizing him as the divine dragon who has captured the entire Azure Sky faction's attention. Namgung humbly stated he didn't deserve such a grand title, prompting Man Hoon to observe, and modest, too. Man Hoon then mentioned he heard his granddaughter, Man Yi-won, had acted rudely toward Namgung, which she immediately denied, while Namgung suggested it was a misunderstanding. Man Hoon inquired further, asking, "What kind of misunderstanding do you mean?" He clarified that the extreme yang elixir Man Yi-won mentioned was actually a gift he intended for Namgung, which she audaciously offered as a martial duel prize, assuming Namgung must have been displeased. Namgung calmly dismissed it, stating, "It is fine." It was merely childishness, much to Baekri Chong's shocked, "What?" Man-hoon found the situation amusing, noting Namgung Jun was 17 and Man Yi-won was 18, causing her to flusteredly declare, "I'm older than you." With a decisive tujik of his hands, Man-hoon then announced, "Now then." Man-hoon, the head of the Elders' Council, offered Namgung Jun a rare, glowing treasure, asking if he would accept this significant gift. Namgung Jun observed the wooden case, noting the powerful energy emanating from it even before it was opened. He internally questioned why Man-hoon would give him such a heavy favor instead of his own granddaughter, feeling the burden of it. Despite Man-hoon's reassurance, Namgung Jun internally decided to refuse, believing debts of gratitude should be settled clearly. Man-hoon, praising Namgung Jun's prudence, found himself wanting to give the elixir even more, then inquired about his sword. Namgung Jun confirmed that his sword was indeed not light, prompting Man-hoon to consider his next move. Man-hoon then proposed a martial duel with his granddaughter, Man Yi-won, as an honorable substitute for the elixir's debt. Heo-il and another disciple were utterly shocked, exclaiming about the head of the Elders' Council's unexpected proposal. Namgung Jun internally realized Man-hoon had cleverly left him no choice but to accept the duel, and thus the elixir. To honor a chivalrous hero like Man-hoon, Namgung Jun declared he would accept the martial duel. Man-hoon smiled, thanking Namgung Jun, while Man Yi-won looked on with a surprised and flustered expression. The scene shifted to a martial arts arena, where an official announced that the duel could commence whenever they were prepared. Man Yi-won, wielding her glowing sword, eagerly declared they should begin right away, striking a powerful pose. Namgung Jun stood calmly, his legs slightly bent, as if preparing for a swift and decisive movement. Suddenly, Namgung Jun lunged forward, mirroring Man Yi-won's exact sword stance, catching her off guard. Man Yi-won was utterly astonished, realizing Namgung Jun had taken the exact same starting stance of her great Gale sword technique.